Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drinax campaign. And it is good to see each and every one of you here. Drinax. I hope you're doing well, everyone. I am doing well. I might be a little all over the place because it's been a lot of prep in the last couple of days for many, many things. But I feel like you might be excited. We only have 3 episodes left. This one and then 2 more. I know, for this season, but then we'll have a new season, which is fine because, I need to commission artwork over the summer. But that's neither here nor there. Hello. Let me see. No, actually, thank you, Prax. I am low at the moment. I see it, and it is a thing that happens that is just quite frustrating. I hope that my mic will not do its thing that it likes to do. Sometimes there is some program in here somewhere that is not me that likes to...
That's what mine does.
Lower my volume without my permission.
Yep. That's what mine does.
And I'm like, why are you doing that?
And
but it is
so annoying.
I know. It just did it again, by the way. So
perfect.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it did it again, and I'm noting it.
To me or me? To me or you?
It's me.
Okay.
It's
perfect.
Me. Yeah. So it's going to drop. So I'm going to adjust my volume in another location that it cannot get a hold of. Is what I'm going to do while we're speaking. But I wanted to say, although I am, yeah. So, hi, it is the Foxhole Friday, and I'm troopersjp, and welcome to the Academic Foxhole. If you see me looking over there, that's my volume that I'm forcing not to drop while I'm talking. And once they start talking, I'm going to work around it in a different way. Anyhow, welcome in. This is our weekly RPG. I always like to do RPGs on Fridays, and I like to do them with you all. So thank you all for being here. If you would like to support us, there are many ways to do so. The number one way you can support us is by being here. By watching us, and if you are watching us on YouTube, by saying hello and giving us, a like, subscribe, and comment over on the YouTube. All of those things are lovely things to do. You can also reskeet our going live skeet to let people know, tell other people about us. You can hang out in our Discord and chat, if you can be in our live chat, and then just tell us theories and things. You can also, because I always pay the cast, and when I have commissions, I pay the commissions. And that's important to me. So if you would like to help monetarily, you can give tips and bits. And if you have a tips and bits message, I will read it out at the end. You can also be one of our Patreons, which is like $3, and you will get irregular updates from me. I do have one coming, but I figured since I missed the last, I try to do it at the end of each season. Since I missed the last one, you're going to get it for the end of this season, I think. So that's coming. But you can go there, and it's like $3. What it does is it helps pay for the cast and any other commissions. We have a special, sponsor tier, which is $200, which will pay for 4 players for 1 week for 1 show. And there are 4 spots, and we have 1 spot taken, and that is by Willen TW, who is our note taker and who has been supporting us ever since the beginning and also since the Geek Space TV days. So much love to Willen, and without whom I just don't know what I would do. And if you are one of our sponsors, you get a special shout out, which I just gave, a special spot in our credits, which is there, and also once a month or more if I feel like it, a special radio ad from me to you all. So that, I think, is all of the prep. I've got some other things to say, but I am not going to say them right now. I'm going to have our cast introduce themselves first, and then I will tell you a couple of bits of fun. Right now, I've let go of my volume so I can see what my mic will do so that when they start talking, I can adjust in a different way. So if each and every one of you might, if you would, say who you are playing, unless you are Greg, in which case don't say who you're playing, just say who you are. And then say something very mysterious that no one will know what it means, but will seem like it has heavy portents. And let's start with Myth.
Hi! Hello, everybody. I'm Myth, or Cord, mythematic, also mostly mythematic. I'm a bartificer. I make stuff. I'm excited to play. We're doing some Traveler today. I'm exhausted because I spent most of the day today building a dog wheelchair because I have an old dog that needs walking. So yeah, I've been building and designing that. So my brain's a little mushy right now, but I'm excited to be here and to play, and it's going to be fun to get to Torpol. I'm also in a really hot room, and I forgot to put the AC in, so I am just miserable right now. But besides that, let's play some games.
All right. Next up, Laugh-Love-Lindy. Who are you, and who are you playing?
Hi, 'tis I, Laughlovelindy. I have no idea what it's like to be in a room with no AC and lots of humidity. That never happens probably multiple times a year in the peak of summer here in Florida. I'm here playing Quint Vesper, the former ex-Solomani spy / Cirque du Solomani member, now current Knight of Drinax and pilot of the Gambler. And it's fine. Everything's fine.
Greg.
Why do you say it like it's not fine?
Who are you? Don't say who
concerns.
you're playing, but do say something mysterious, because I trust you to say something especially mysterious.
Pressure. Hi, everybody. My name's Greg, and you used to know me as Dr. Valentine Morrissey here on The Gambler. But I'm very happy to be here for this Foxhole Friday. Trooper and I were up late last night doing a play-by-text character creation because my internet was completely gone. And such a trooper to be able to do that for hours. And I hope you will like who you meet when the crew gets to Torpol. I hope.
I hope so too. One never knows. And hi, and I'm Trooper SJP, and I will be your facilitator for this bunch of madness. Let's see. I wanted to tell you a couple of things. So, heads up, everybody. You know we've got this planner that I've got on the works, and it turns out you've not heard anything about it. And the Imperial year starts April the 18th, which we've passed. I got my stuff in, and I've been waiting for information back. Finally, I got information back because I got to have a nice Zoom meeting with the folks over at Fourth Wall. Turns out they've been in a bit of there's this thing going on, like a weird trade war with tariffs that has been hitting everybody in a terrible way, and so they've been swamped. But I did get a hold of them, and here's what's what. I believe I'm going to be able to take, I'm waiting for a sample to come in. I believe I shall be able to have, pre-orders up next Friday. So next Friday, pre-orders should be up. And then if you order them, they will come in as soon as I have approved the sample, the printed sample, which should come in pretty soon, which means you should be able to get those planners by June 1st. They go from the April of this year to April next year. So you get a full 13 months, even though 2 of them will be a little bit less. Hey, they might come in earlier before the beginning of June. We shall see. That would be great. But they shall be coming in. And what's great about this calendar is that if you are running Traveler, this is the Imperial calendar for the year 1105, which is one of the basic sort of standard milieu for Traveler, which means this will be good no matter when and where you are. But if you also want to have a planner that works for the actual year that we're in, as it does, that will also work for you. So I'm believing by next week we should be able to get the pre-orders up for that, and then should be able to get them shortly afterwards. Also, I am working on, I got the art for the divination deck. We need a couple more tweaks on it because of bleed lines. And once that's done, I am going to, by the way, I'm driving across the country on the 20th. So once I can get all of that done, I'm going to upload those, get all of the I'm going to be putting these together by hand, by the way. My goal is to get that out, get them back. They say 5 to 7 business days, get everything to me in my hot hands before I drive across the country, get everything assembled, send it off to Fourth Wall, and then leave away. Which means if things go well, what I'm hoping is that I can get pre-orders for the divination deck before the season ends as well. Which means the 2 big cool things, hopefully the pre-orders will go before we end the season, and then you will get them shortly thereafterwards. And I'm very excited for all of that. That should be very cool. So that's like the big merch stuff that I wanted to give you a heads up on. Now, more importantly, when last we left our Tagonists, some things had happened. Many things had happened. One of those things being that they were all planning on getting in their ship and leaving, as you do. Unfortunately for them, the Princess of Drinax, Princess Rao, is psionically trained, by whom we don't know, but she is psionically trained, and she went and read the mind of Quint to make sure that Quint was not a spy, and learned everything that Quint knows about what has happened in this game since Quint has been here, which is season 2. Everything that Quint knows, the princess knows, including that Drinax has an ancient being that is alive at the heart of it. And so the princess went down to Drinax to meet this being, now that she knows about it, and learned some stuff, including that it would probably be very, very bad, well, that the planet's in a dire straits, it's all very precarious, and well, they really need someone to take over the position of counselor, which has a huge, massive impact on the feelings and thoughts of the people of Drinax, who actually knows what's going on. And so the princess asked Terrica if they would stay on the floating palace, because this is a sort of an existential crisis that they're in. And after a lot of that's a hard choice. After a lot of really hard choices to make, the liege of the House of Reppenhausen agreed to stay on the floating palace. And Val, the loyal partner, decided to stay. So those two are staying on the planet of Drinax. They have some work to do, which involves taking things back and forth to a seam, but they will be staying there, which means that the gambler went off into space with a very, very minimal crew. And I thought it would be nice to show a Roll20 page that I made, because I just think this is very interesting. Hey crew, all of my dearest players, let's go look at this cool page that I made in Roll20, huh? Let's go do that for a moment. So this page here is, I made it special. It is your fleet.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, right? It's the fleet that you all have. You currently have 2 ships in your fleet, the Gambler and the Elaine. The Gambler's pilot is Gollin Grin, who's also serving as captain, right? And you have an engineer
Probably loves it right now.
Probably loves it. You have an engineer whose name I'll I'll pull up that engineer for you. I will generate a new NPC, and you have another engineer and a diplomat who are also going along on this. And you have sent the Elaine off on a mission, and I'll do all those roles later. But we also have the gambler. And I figured we should, because this is a question I have to ask, battle stations and all of that business,
For no reason.
For no reason.
Perfect.
Yeah, where everybody is as we are heading off into space. And actually, I suppose you do have a current mission, which is pirate attacks on Torpol.
Torpol and Clark.
There's also the treasure globe, but and then we'll just put. I suppose we'll just put treasure globe. Treasure globe. Those are two nice missions for you all. Just put them there so they're all up in your face. Great. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battle stations on your ship. And then also Marines. So the pilot, who is piloting?
Not me.
Me.
It you. Yes. You have your junior engineer, Wesley, in engineering at the moment. Mm-hmm. Our captain is Admiral.
Also an admiral, thank you. Yeah.
Yes. The admiral is captaining the ship. Hey, Cord.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the first Star Wars movie, the original motion picture?
Yes.
Do you remember when Kirk, and I know that Warp Reactor's out there, Greg is out there noting this because he is, after all, a...
You just said Star Wars.
You did say Star Wars, and then you went to Star Trek. Wow.
Star Trek is what I meant. Star Trek. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no.
The original... Did you see the first
Then
Star
you
Trek
lost
movie?
me.
Yeah,
Nope.
he does not.
Okay. So in the first Star Trek motion picture, there's the Enterprise, new version of the Enterprise about to go off to be captained by Deckard, and because all the regular old original series crew are old and like admirals and no longer should be running around things. And Kirk doesn't feel like that, just feels like he should go and do it anyway. He causes some people to die because he doesn't actually know the new ship, and he's quite incompetent, our Kirk. But anyway, I wouldn't worry about an admiral just captaining a ship. It's fine.
So you are...
What?
Okay. You're okay. All right. You're comparing me to a potential admiral that shouldn't be captain.
No. I was just mentioning Kirk. Anyway. So you will be captain. We have Malcolm Brace, your squire, who is on the one of the gunner seats. Our pilot can double gunner and pilot if necessary, because a pilot can do that. There are penalties, but so you technically have both of your turrets currently being crewed. Who is your sensor operator and your astrogator?
I can technically operate sensors while piloting.
Oh,
I have
great.
a base skill in computers. I have a base skill in electronics. My specialty is computers, and that's pretty good. But
Right.
the electronic sensors, I can do at a
Yeah.
base.
Yeah.
Not negative.
Yeah.
We're going to need to hire some people.
Yeah. Yeah. We should really hire someone who can astrogate and do sensors. That would be great.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, so you don't have really. Can you do electronics, Admiral?
I don't believe I can. Let me look at my
I feel like you
skills.
have electronics, right? Because you have electronics drones.
Hey, everybody who thought that they'd just get a pass and be able to get the Torpol to make sure everything kind of gets back together. Guess again.
No, we're gonna do the roles, but I just want to make sure everybody knows how dire the situation is for you all before we actually go there.
Remote ops and comms. I have electronics comms, which makes sense, because I'm
Okay.
Oh, so you
I'm
can
a
do
bugger.
comms. That's good.
Yeah, I
That's
can
good.
bug
I'll
stuff.
do sensors. You can do comms and astrogation, maybe.
I'm the talker.
Well, yeah. So.
All right, I
What's
do
your-
want to learn
what's
how
your
to astrogate.
education,
I don't have any astrogate.
What's your education?
Really
Severance?
great.
Good. So when we're roll, because isn't it an
It's actually not
education
really great.
astrogation roll usually?
Yeah,
My education's a -1, so I think if anyone's rolling their jack of all trades for astrogate, it should be you,
should be
because at
me.
least you have education. Mine's be negative.
Oh, I do have astrogation anyway. Yeah, we're good.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, never mind. It's at 0. Never mind. We're good. It's still at 1. All right, we're fine.
Is it
Still
trained?
+1. No.
Oh, so then it's at -3. Yeah. So
No, it's
again,
not. I have jack of all trades. Haha.
That's
I,
jack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so
But,
I have
but at least you have an
negative-
education.
Yeah,
so
I have 1. I have a +1 in it.
That would help.
Oh, wait, no,
with
that's
your
an
jack of
intellect.
all
I'm sorry, that's
trades.
intellect. If this was education, I have a 0.
Well, I have a -1.
So-
That's still better than me.
Yeah. Can I roll with my psionic strength?
Yeah.
Never mind, let's not do that.
So I just wanted to make sure I knew where everybody was for their battle stations. But as we are flying off towards the 100 diameter mark, so that you can all, head on out, as it were.
Head on out.
It is, of course, about 10 hours to get to the 100 diameter jump spot, with everybody in position, getting ready. As
It's
you're
like eerily
flying.
quiet too, right? There's
It
no
really
Jin,
is, because there's like
no
3 of
Sue,
us.
There's 3 of us. And we're all probably, like, usually there is, like,
And Wesley's
downtime, I feel
in
like.
engineering, so it's just me and you on the bridge.
Yeah, and there's, like, usually
Oh, and Malcolm.
downtime, so I feel like we are...
Oh, Malcolm,
right, and
Malcolm's the
Malcolm,
bridge.
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because
Can we
there's
put
4 of
Malcolm
us total.
somewhere?
He's on there. He just doesn't have a picture yet, so that's why I didn't
We'll get
notice
it.
it.
Oh, it just says Malcolm. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. We'll get a picture
All right.
for him. I
Void,
can
you
make a
here?
lot of new
Void?
art.
I'll draw one for him in the
Void.
meantime.
Yeah, just kidding.
Uh-oh.
But
we go.
all right, cool. So Malcolm, I can't move Malcolm though. I can't move anybody else because I can move Wesley. All right, cool.
Oh, I can't make everybody people to do this one. But
Here,
Malcolm's
I'll make
there.
Malcolm.
Where is Val? Yeah, he died. Watch the last episode.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding. That's not what happened.
no. Everybody's fine.
Everyone's
So-
fine.
It's a long 10 hours to get there.
There
to
we
the
go.
jump
There's
point.
Malcolm.
Hey, nicely
Oh,
done.
oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, that is pretty. I enjoy that very much.
Uh,
So it's a long flight, and as you're flying out, the Elaine is flying with you, right? The Elaine is
Yeah.
matching you as you head off to the jump space, and both of these ships get to the 100 diameter mark, and this is that moment where both of you go
Cool.
to start doing your astrogation, so that
We're
can
gonna
leave
what I
properly.
recommend, Admiral, is that we take our time. We're not in a rush, you know. just
we're
we
not
get
in a
the-
rush, no. I mean, we won't be in a rush when we jump because then it's a week of us just waiting around.
This is true. We can take an
But
extra-
it's been about 6 hours of work. Like, we haven't done
10.
this before. 10 hours.
10 hours of work.
10 hours of like work, especially for Severance, who has never needed to. I think he's just the general energy is super stressed because usually he just waits around and it's very luxurious for him.
Not anymore.
But right now he's actually like frantic, stressed. Like, when I think this is probably the best analogy. I work at a restaurant, and sometimes the manager, the owner, thinks it's a good idea to get in and start expoing tickets, which this restaurant doesn't do. So it's really hilarious when you add a moving part that doesn't really know what they're doing in the middle of a machine, of a well-running machine. It's sort of like that, where like Severance is trying to pick up. This was a really smooth running machine.
Yes.
And now he is trying to be 3 different cogs in this machine, but has no idea to be one of them. I mean, he has ideas, but he hasn't been trained in one of them. So he is learning. It's really stressful. And I think he is sweating as much as I am. And yeah, his robe is off, and he is like actually like running back and forth between the nav maps, opening, closing. It's not unlike the very few minutes before a TTRPG production, where you have a crap ton of windows open. There's a countdown happening.
Am I forgetting anything?
Exactly.
What am I missing?
Right, exactly. Quickly looking at you've got the tab open, the hollow tab
Everyone's
open
here,
for the
in the right
manual.
spots.
Exactly. Everywhere it's got to be. I've got Gollins over here. Gollin is still in our toe, and there is just It's 10 hours of the pre-production of episode 1 of a TTRPG for Severance. Yeah, it is just stressful.
Which is why Quint recommended that we take our time, because if you take extra time before your jump, your DC is lowered. So
That is correct.
That is a good call. He will still be frantic.
Extra time?
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
Is there a way that
it's not a lot of extra time. It's like 20 minutes.
How would Quint?
No, it's not.
Oh.
How would Quint remind, show, whatever it may be, to Severance that maybe we should take some time? It will be easier because meta-wise, it's easier. The DC.
Well, that's
will
what
be
Quint
lower.
said. We should. I recommend we take our time with this because we're not in a rush. That's what Quint said.
All right. Okay. I think
It'll
there's
be
still he's
easier
still
to do
stressed.
the calculations if we just double check everything.
Right, well, I've been pretty active for a while. I could take a nap right now. Is it like let's take a nap time of?
No, we can take a nap
time?
afterwards. But as soon as we jump, then everyone can go take a nap.
Then I'd like to jump. I mean, that's what I don't understand. What am I waiting around for?
If we double check all the calculations, we will reduce our risk of misjump.
I think I've. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna.
Since it's your first time doing the astrogation, we should probably take some extra time.
I think this is like my second, but this one feels like
first
more
time with me
stressful.
here.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna talk out loud about my my plan, and you just sort of let me know if it's good. Right? Okay. So I'm going to, and then he's just gonna.
Can I get a 1d6 from you, Severance?
Yeah, he's gonna go over just verbally all of his tabs. Being
so we
open
will
and
take
things
the
like
extra
that.
time. Quint's gonna just because Quint's pretty chill right now. Quint's just slowing him down.
He's
talk all
so
the
stressed.
time.
It's not even funny.
Yeah. Quint's trying to be a calming presence.
Yeah.
Just so you know how this works in Traveler, because I like to make this exciting. Traveler has a timetable, right? I don't know if I have I gave you a handout once. And I don't know if it's in here, but there are exciting handouts for you. They're later. But there's an exciting table, right? And it gives you the different, because things come in time bands, right? It's either 1D seconds or 1D rounds or 1D times 10 seconds, 1D minutes, 1D times 10 minutes, which is 1D times 10 minutes is how long it takes to do astrogation normally. Mm-hmm. Right, but you have decided to go to the next bound of time to get your bonus. So this will take you 4 hours to plot this course properly.
So I didn't have it good at all. I was probably I went through all the tabs and you're like, no, we should probably do this way. Or maybe it's this. And
Let's say for the time's sake, I'm standing there with the manual. Did you do this step 7B?
I glazed over B, but I thought if I just did 7, I didn't need to have to do B.
No, you have to do every step in the manual.
Oh, I thought those were options. Okay, well then we've got a lot to go through then, and then I guess it's just sort of that where it's like.
I was like, Quint will make you a cup of chamomile tea, something soothing and calming.
Thank you,
And,
ketamine tea. Exactly, this is what I need. What? I'm a clone. It's different.
Tea.
No, ketamine tea is
you're right.
Right. Ketamine tea is perfectly. It's like chamomile.
Yes. Could I get your education astrogation check? You have a -2 because you are jumping 2, and
perfect.
Your difficulty is 2.
Difficulty 2. I have task. A -2.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And it's a simple task. That is what a tease. Because it isn't.
Because you reduced it from easy to simple.
Normal. Ask for difficulty, yes. Here I go. I'm going to click this button. Astrogation. Average. What did you say it was going to be in?
Simple.
It's simple, +2. Okay.
So you just
And-
need to roll 2 or higher, and you have a -2 penalty. Now, I will please note, you did not take your -2 to that, so that's a 5.
How did I not take it? Oh, I got it. I see the difficulty. Okay, I thought that did it. Yeah, it's a 5.
Okay, this is important.
5 is still
Because
good.
we're
It would have been a
using
4. It would have been a lot closer. It would have been.
Yes. Oh, yes. Because every bonus matters. Every. Because the thing is, when you astrogate, you have to figure out not just where all of the bodies of space that have been logged in that's what the scouts do is, but where they will be in approximately 1
When
week's
we get there.
time.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to like jump into the wrong space and then die. That would be
Oops, the
terrible.
moon was in
Right.
orbit
Oh
on
man,
this
that is
point.
so cool. I didn't. Yeah, you've got to like, you have to do like a weather forecast,
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
cosmic weather forecast of where
Yes.
celestial bodies will be, or potentially other like freight ships that are coming in. Like you've got to look at all of the incoming potential traffic.
Yes.
That maybe
Yes.
that's cool. All right.
And the farther away you're jumping, the harder it is. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
right, because the distance.
Yeah.
So now we need our engineer
God, that's cool.
to go and make a roll. That is.
Go Wesley. Go Wesley.
What's
we took time.
next?
Does that help him? Just taking time
he
to help
can-
Wesley.
Can I give him bardic inspiration?
No.
You could do
but
leadership though, maybe.
You can do
I know, I would
leadership
like to do
actually,
leadership.
Yeah.
because it will also take him extra time. Give me your leadership.
Wesley, this is
yeah?
Wesley, this is
Yep.
This is your admiral. Just wanted to. I think you are up, right? He's up next for the.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
he's up
I've got to
next.
All right.
calibrate the engine.
Calibrate the exactly. Yeah, that's what it says here in the documents.
Got the manual.
Calibrate. Yes. So you're next, and then after that, if it helps, just think WWTD. All right. What would Terrica do?
Oh, all right. I can do that.
All right. You got this.
Okay. And you want me to take extra time just to make sure we get this right?
Yeah, take whatever. Yeah, whatever. Please, definitely take more time. Because I we went over all of the steps, and I did a couple of them wrong and backwards. So,
Oh, all right.
So just make sure you're doing it right, and I know you are. Okay.
Another 4 hours go by as he's working very carefully to make sure that the engine is calibrated, because if you don't get the jump
And the
engine
Elaine is
calibrated
gone.
right,
They've already left.
Lane's already. Yeah, Lane's gone.
far gone.
Okay,
Far
I'm
gone.
leaving. I'm leaving now. Captain, Admiral, I'm going. Meanwhile, Golin's doing it all by himself.
No, he's got an engineer. But he is doing all the astrogation and stuff himself. He does astrogate. Yay, Wesley! Oh, that's a
that
good bonus. Good
That's a
job.
+8. Well, now,
Did you want me to?
As
I
everything-
forgot.
Yeah, you gotta roll that leadership too, just so we can have it.
oh yes, give me that.
Because you can hand it out to anybody.
Leadership. Social.
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Average. Boom.
Whoo!
Ooh.
It's a crit leadership.
That's right. That's because I had the
This
manual.
means you
'cause we have the
have
manual.
8 successes that you can hand out. 8 + 1s that you can hand out.
Wow.
Just throw it to Wesley. Just throw it. Just
Wesley,
make it
would
even
you
better.
like Wesley, you're doing great. Wesley, you're doing great. Wesley, great
I
job.
wanna make
Wesley. +1
So-
comments.
If you're ready, there are some rolls that have to be made right about now. And I just ported these things over, so let's hope that this works well and that it will work in this particular thing. Astrogator has made their roll by 5. Engineer has made their roll by 9.
Oh, is this the macro you were working on? Ooh.
Yes, it has multiple stages to it, so let's see.
Wow, that's
Oh.
cool.
As the ship begins, as the J drive begins to sort of whirl up, and you begin
Wow, that's
to
cool.
sort of move towards this space, there's this, you have the kind of, it's very quiet because the sounds of space. And as you begin to move, the ship is flying. You waited for quite some time, actually, right? And actually, you guys are not even moving because you were sitting there waiting. And so you sit there in this completely stationary spot. And as you sit there, in an instant, this sort of iridescent, pearlescent white sort of globe envelops the ship, and you are in jump space. And there's no weird feelings. Normally it's something. There are two ways to know something bad is happening. Sometimes
Yeah,
the minute you get into jump space, you know that something bad has happened. And then also when you're trying to get out of jump space, you know something bad has happened. But this, you took extra time and everything seems perfect. And you slide into jump space. No sickness. If you're going to get sick, you would know it by now. Because the minute you hit jump space, if it's a bad jump, you
Quint's waiting.
know.
Quint
You
is
know.
waiting for it. And it's like,
And you head into jump space. Let me ask you, you have a week in jump space, give or take. If you are perfect, you would emerge in 160 hours. But, I mean, who's perfect? And if you are perfect in your astrogation, you would emerge exactly at the 100 diameter limit. But, again, who's perfect? I suppose you'll find out when you get there. But what are you doing this week? Wesley is studying, and also Malcolm will be studying as well. I imagine mostly studying since you have no passengers and it's so empty.
yeah.
We have no passengers. We have no more grebes.
Well,
Except for the one.
except for the one.
Except for the one.
That's in your
Except
bedroom.
for the one. Yep.
You might not want to sleep there with it in there.
Put it back in the hold. You know. But you have an entire week, right, of downtime while you're probably studying or doing the things that you're doing. The 4 stowaway children have been sent off. And you know about when you should emerge from jump space, right? And at any given time, that's when the alarm is going to go off, right? And so you don't know how good your jump is. You don't know how long it'll take. There is a saying. There's a saying that spacers... people will say. And the saying is, if it's more than a day, it's like more than a day, it rhymes. It's like more than a day, and then you're in a bad way, something like this, right? The idea being that if it's 24 hours longer than you should have emerged from jump space, something really bad has happened. Yes. And as you're waiting, and waiting and waiting for that moment, the alarm goes off, and you can hear Sue as Val saying, well, we're about to emerge from jump space. And you emerge from jump space in that flash. Before you finish emerging, I need to ask you these questions. One, do you emerge dark or do you not emerge dark?
We have to, usually we have to emerge not dark, right? That's transponder, or you mean with power?
Yes.
I don't think we need,
right?
I don't think we need to
We don't need to go dark. Yeah.
I just want to check.
But
and
also,
since you asked what we were doing during that week of downtime, and you didn't let us answer, I'm going to tell you that.
take that.
I'm going to tell you that
Quint for study.
Well, but maybe we're not just studying.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Lay it on me.
Quint would be trying to start the healing process on the mask.
Oh yes.
Yes. And studying. Like that's what Quint's doing. Studying and then trying to start the process of healing the mask. So I just thought it would be important for the audience to know.
No, it is important to know this.
And you.
Yeah.
Oh, I do need to know. So when you emerge, this is that moment where
training my
everything is very, very tense. I need a sensors roll.
That'll be me. Sensors. That's a computer.
Electronic sensors.
Electronics sensors. What's second stat? Int?
Yes.
We have the stealth
Electronics
pistols
int.
strapped to our hull.
Yes.
You do.
Yes, it is.
You do.
Electronics int. Here we go. Sensors. 6. We know there was pirates in this space, though, the last time.
Right? Yep.
that we from the thing. So I will spend the 2 luck to
And
make
I will
it
give
a.
you a +1.
Oh, thanks, Captain.
Thank you,
So
thank you,
that's been
thank you.
There we go.
You're welcome, because I forgot I had those and I should use them.
Okay. As you emerge from jump space, and like the globe of the jump space sort of just dissipates and you find yourself in a system. Immediately, of course, as is always the case, you have just got 1,000 pings on your sensors, right? When you come out of jump space, it's actually usually quite stressful if you're the sensor operator, because what you get is not the lack of information. You get way too much information.
So much.
It's just like star, sun, asteroid, this, and you don't know which ones are ships, which ones are not. Just all these pings. You've got to sit there as quickly as possible, go through them, make sure there's no pirate ship on your tail, or that there's not an asteroid you're about ready to run into. Right? You have to and also maybe where are you? Right? So you have to sort of do that really sort of quick, immediate sort of check, so that you are not a sitting duck, as we did in a combat scenario at one point in time. And as you sort of do all of your checks, you discover that there are, of course, lots of things running about over there in the Torpol space. You don't notice any sort of mysterious ships that you can tell. And you are exactly 100 diameters from the planet. Your astrogator did a perfect job.
And I'll say that, Severence, your astrogation was impeccable. We literally are at the 100 meter jump point.
Good. I mean, yes, of course. I had the manual in front of me. Would have been embarrassing otherwise.
Yeah, it seems that extra time going through the manual really paid off.
It did, thank you. It was good. I do remember 6 days ago when you said that.
And you have to travel to Torpol. They have a high port. Do you remember how it took you about 10 hours or so to get from the 100 jump meter to Drinax because it's in the shadow? That is not the case here. Torpol will take you about 86 minutes.
What?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You are, after all, a very fast ship. But even if you were not a very fast ship, it would take you about 3.5 hours.
It's not even a whole hour and a half movie.
Nope. Right. And so
I'm gonna bang out a couple White Lotus seasons. I'll be back. Oh wait, were they already?
As you're heading there, and as you're heading towards Torpol, you're going to get the welcome video, the welcome packet as you're sort of heading towards the high port. I do not have it for you because, busy, but I will give you some things that you will know about Torpol. Some things which are very, very important to note about Torpol. So, Torpol has got a B level starship, starport. Speaking of which, I can actually take you to our Trojan Reach map so that you can see where you're going. And I do have a couple of rolls that I have to make for when you approach, because there are things. So if you notice, just please do.
Oink.
So if you notice, it's got that nice orange hex around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is about how friendly it is to people like you, to people who might be vaguely criminal or suspicious. And the closer it is to red, the less great it is for you.
For suspicious people.
For suspicious people.
Okay.
And this has to do with how law-abiding the planet is, generally speaking, and also what you've done to help them out. When you do things to help out planets, their attitude towards you will get better, as a matter of fact. And you've got things in the works, but at the moment, Torpol is unfriendly, which, it is what it is. But things to note about Torpol. Torpol is a water world. It is got a kind of a thin atmosphere. It's mostly all water. It has got a high port and a down port. The thing about Torpol is that it has very little land mass at all. It's all part of the Dust Belt, right? That sort of trading route that goes from the Imperium all the way over to the Florian League, right? That used to be part of the old Sindalian space. And Torpol itself, how would I describe it? There are things, I suppose, it has basically no surface land. The population that lives on the surface lives basically on the ice caps at the north and south poles of the planet. But this Torpol also has all of these huge stilt-supported platforms built in shallow water, that these just massive stilted platforms in the shallow water where they have built their cities. So they've got all these sort of cities on stilted platforms. And their their population is very large. They've got like tens of millions of people on Torpol. They don't live underwater. They live on these like platforms. So you've got basically all of these sort of like artificial platforms where all these massive cities are and all these people live.
Unlike number one, where number one was an island and a bunch of underwater.
Yes. They don't really live underwater, but they do live right on these platforms. The other thing I would note is that this planet most of the planets in this whole area have not done well after the end of the Sindalian Empire or Aslan invasions, right? But they have been working really hard to sort of make themselves successful again, and being one of the few planets that has more than like a very small number of people, they are doing well for themselves. And the question becomes, how do they do that? I will note that their technology level is 8, which is about our technology level right now in the current day and time that we live in now. So they're not particularly high tech, but they're doing well, which is why they have stilts and not like underwater domes. They have a law level of A, which is a very high law level. And law level A means that you cannot have weapons or armor when you leave your ship. No weapons, none, 0 weapons. And they're very, very, they're very legalistic. They're very, very intense with their law. Lots of security, a high security kind of a space. They don't want crime or trouble on their planet. And as you're watching their welcome packet, you kind of get a sense why. So the planet itself is mostly known historically for fishing, and it still does a lot of fishing sales, right? That's a big deal for them. Which, if you remember Evan, that's what he did. He was a wholesaler for seafood. But so maybe he might find a job here on this planet, perhaps. That said, they do have a new industry that has been the thing that has made them successful as a planet. And that is because this planet in Torpol doesn't really have a lot of natural resources, so it's not like they can become a very big industrial center. But what they do have is they can produce hydrogen fuel that ships need, right, to go and jump through space. So this planet Torpol is on this trade route, and all these big trade convoys come through, and this is where they go and they refuel. And so Torpol makes a huge amount of money, basically selling, refining and selling hydrogen fuel for all of these ships that come through. That's like one of their big things. They're also a very big trading planet. They've done the people who run the planet, who are called the leaders, right, of Torpol. They are very good traders. They have a reputation for being good with trade, but very specifically being good with trade with the Florian League. And the Florian League is weird, and nobody really knows how to. They're not very easy to trade with. As a matter of fact, they were as a culture, they're very xenophobic, and they basically are kind of shut down, and no one's really allowed to trade with them or interact with them or go and visit them at all, until not some time ago. They sort of opened up trade in a very limited way, but nobody really knows. They don't trade like normal people. They just want weird things. At some point in time, they just kind of want leather, and then they only want small, like, boba tea. Like, they're just quite, like, nobody really knows what they want and why they want it, but the people there on Torpol have been pretty good at guessing what the people in the Florian League want, and so they've actually been pretty successful that way with that trading partner. it's a bit of an art to sort of guess what kind of weird things they're going to want. And they've been pretty successful, the provosts of Torpol. They've mostly spent a lot of time studying the Florian League and trying to figure out how to anticipate what kind of weird things they might want and then stock up on that. That said, their most important and, yes, I would say their most...
trade baron. Where have I seen that before?
Yes. And where they really make their money, though, is shore leave. They have made themselves, they've got like a lot of water, so they've made themselves a place for people who are on this trade route to stop off and have vacation, right? So they are a vacation spot. They are your lovely Club Med, right? It's sort of like a pleasure port is what is really, if you go down to the surface, there are a number of pleasure ports along the way. You can sort of like be on high port, you can take your leave, come down to the stilted places and have all of these amazing experiences. And this is a really good place to relax. It is a safe place. People do not have weapons here. That's why there's so much security, that you can come and relax and just have a vacation. And as the welcome packet video says, our pleasure ports may feel wild, erotic, and untamed, but they're actually the safest place on the planet. And they, as you get this welcome packet, which is in some ways like a Club Med commercial, you're really getting like, oh, look at this port. You can see like, you know, like palm fronds, and you can see like gorgeous looking people giving you drinks. And it is very clear that one of the things that is making Torpol survive as a planet is its reputation as being safe. Being a place where people can go and relax and be safe, and that you can come in and get your fuel and not be attacked by pirates, for example. It is very clear that it's the comfort that you get here is what makes this, is one of the things that's making this planet survive and thrive. And were there to be pirate attacks on this planet, for example, which happened just recently, that would be really bad for their reputation and probably for their... there's a reason why they're offering like 2 million credits to get these pirates that attacked them on the surface of the planet, because this is like an existential threat for them, if you know what I mean. Like that's...
On the surface or planet side, like in atmosphere?
Planet side is what was the word, which pirates never do. Pirates rarely attack the surface of a planet. Usually you like they almost never attack the surface or also the high ports, because those things are fairly well guarded, right? Yeah. You just kind of hang out around like the 100 diameter limit or like a gas giant, and you pick on people and you split. But these pirates attack the surface, which is causing of both Torpol and Clark, and it's causing the provost of Torpol to kind of freak out a little bit. And so as you are coming in to this planet, and you get your packet in, and you get, this is Torpol Highport. We are happy to have you at your stay. Please enjoy. Give us your identification, and we will give you a berth to land on the safest and most pleasurable planet in the Trojan Reaches.
It's probably me, right? I'm comms. I will.
I just glance over.
Oh, right.
Make sure he's got it.
This is the gambler making a request for safe port. I'm sending you our codes now.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent. We will put you in Dock 5, Berth 4, Slip 3. Welcome to Torpol.
4, Slip 3. Thank you. Yes, just relaying that to my pilot. Thank you. Thank you very much. Open up.
And you make your way in. I need to make a couple of rolls right now because that is how this goes. Let's hope everything goes well for you all. This is your first roll. Your second roll. Interesting. Great. Can I get your piloting roll, Quint? It's just a 4.
Just a 4. That's great. I like that. Pilot. Not
Spacecraft, not
smallcraft.
smallcraft. Nope.
Yep. Yep, got it.
You land perfectly well. You pull into your berth, and this spacecraft itself, this starport, is a very nice starport. It's sort of well built. It is a GDCO starport. Because of course it's a GDCO starport.
Because of course it is.
It has to be.
Of course it is. Yes, because they are all over this place. And you have arrived at this planet. When you get, at the starport itself, the high port. When you get there, you notice that there is, it's very bustling. There are a lot of people coming in and out. There are a lot of ships. There's like a lot of room for like really huge trading ships as well, not just small ones like yourself. So there's a lot going in and out. When you come off of your ship to sort of get onto this starport itself, the high port, there are customs. There's sort of fairly intense customs. They're going to go and do a full rundown of your ship to make sure there's nothing illegal on the ship or nothing irregular on the ship.
Yeah.
Because that is what they're doing. They check all of your paperwork. Can I get an admin role from our captain?
I'd love to.
Based on social.
I'd love to. Yes, please. Those are my favorite words.
Because you're trying to schmooze them, right? When they're
Admin social. Mama. Been waiting 6 seasons for this. And of course, I barely made it. 9.
You are able to. You get the sense that they are the kind of place that, if they get any sense of there being anything strange, they're going
Like
to
a grebe?
start. Yes. Well, no, actually,
boy.
they're like.
Okay, perfect.
We noticed that your transponder went off for about 2 minutes recently. What happened?
Severence.
When did that go off?
Yeah.
I did that?
Quint
right.
would try to step up for this one because Quint has. I've been thinking about this. I knew they were going to ask about this. And I have a question for you, Trooper, because Quint would know this. And so before I step up and say anything, I want to make sure that this is a plausible explanation. If you accidentally overload your drive, wouldn't that shut everything down and potentially cause the transponder to shut off? No. Okay.
No.
No,
So I was going to say that would be a really good
Yeah,
We
excuse.
can just tell them the truth, can't we?
It's like a black box. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
like they really keep that.
It's got its
yeah.
own
It was
power.
an accident.
It's powered by a small uranium flake, and there's really no way you could turn it off.
It was off for such a short amount of time. You could not have done any piracy in that time. So it's not like.
Next on my blog post, 2-minute piracy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure I've read that before on Reddit. I'm going to
Probably just claim it. We accidentally did that
I'm
while
just
trying to do something
I'm
else
just gonna
with
tell
an
them the
experienced
truth.
engineer.
Right? I'm just going to say that, like, there was a potential threat that we needed to stay away from recently, and we knew shutting down the transponder was not a smart idea. What's the word? Administrationally, but it had to be done because otherwise we would have been. We're running with a low crew right now. We're actually here to probably recruit some more. So we did not want to, of course, have any sort of issue or to be pirated ourselves.
But then we saw that it was not an aggressive ship, and it got.
And then, yes, of course. Yes, thank you. My pilot's telling me that we'd also, of course, then we didn't see that it was an aggressive ship. We did get a conversation with them, and then we turned them back on. We're not supposed to. We know, but it was probably a life and death situation. I made the call. Could have been my fault.
I see.
A
Well,
roll deception. I feel like there was a lot of
no, because that was all
Okay.
true, actually.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it was all true, and also you already succeeded on your social admin role, so
true.
it's not going to be a problem. Let me say, I see. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at your paperwork here. You are from Drinax. Is that correct?
Is that a problem?
Well, this is the Gambler. Is that
Yes,
correct?
this is the Gambler.
I see. Well, I'm afraid we will have to move your ship from the high port down to the down port. If you could fly down there. You see, the high port, we'll refuel you, and then, of course, you can make your way down there. The southern port is where you should be directed. We have been expecting you. We have been told that you are here.
For the maintenance. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
We've been told that you are here for, well, it seems that you are here to help us with the incident.
Oh, the incident, yeah.
That we had. Our trader Crax has only arrived just the other day on this one of his ships. One of your other ships has arrived from Drinax as well. And it seems as if you are going to be helping us. We have a Provost Marshal Haddo Farks is expecting you down at the southern port, so we'll have to direct you down there once we get once we get you refueled. Also, my understanding is that we have set up supplies for you to sort of build in a med bay on the ship. We've been told that was to be expected as well. Yes. So I will alert the Provost Marshal that you will be arriving shortly down to the southern port. Yes.
Just a quick question. We are supposed to be
Yes.
picking up a crew member who got dropped off here for about a month of shore leave on our way to Drinax. A Karine, would you happen to have any records if she's up here on the high port or if she's on the down port?
Oh, last name?
No
Which you
last
know.
name. Oh, I know. I do
No,
know.
it's-
I do know she has last name.
yeah.
Okay, I'd give her the last name then.
One moment. And this person who's there, like dressed in they're like a port official, but they sort of look like a.
I figure I figure they can look it up because if she took transit
Oh.
to get down to planet side, it would be on
absolutely.
record. So
Yeah, absolutely. But your port official sort of like, like some port officials look like police. This port official looks like somebody who would work at a very expensive hotel, right? That's the vibe they're going
concierge.
for.
That
Very
makes a lot of sense though
concierge.
because they're very tourist based.
Very touristy.
I hate living in a
Yes.
tourism state.
Yes. Let's see. A Karine Lukovic. Yes. Oh, she's under arrest.
I can't say I'm surprised.
Up here or down there?
Oh, down there. We're working on the administrative process of getting her incarcerated for quite some time.
Right. Thank you very much for your assistance. Once
Um,
we're all filled up, we'll head down.
All right, very well.
We don't really have trials here on Torpol. We have administrators, and she had no one to speak on her behalf, and so we're just going to, well,
Did she,
Well,
did she insist on having a trial of her own?
well, that's not how it works here.
Right.
well, now she has people who can administer it on her behalf.
Well, let's not
Since
get
you're
out
still
of-
doing the paperwork, I'm assuming it's not finished yet, so we could.
I'm sure there's someone
Well-
else here that could take her place. There's one that's less of a loose cannon. But we'll
Yes,
see.
she had a weapon on her,
That
and
makes
I'm
sense,
afraid
yes.
that's not allowed. We don't have weapons here on Torpol, and so she
I'm
had
sure
some
you
sort
do.
of.
I'm just pretty sure that people keep them secured.
Well, if you have weapons, you should keep them on your ship
That's what I'm
and
saying,
not take
yes,
them.
yes.
Yes. But she had a weapon on her, and that means she will be. Well, we're not quite certain how long it'll be before she'll be leaving prison. We haven't finished the paperwork yet, though. Nonetheless,
Wonderful.
you will be free to make your way down to the southern port, where you can meet with our provost marshal about the incident. And your ship is anticipated, so we have people who I'm sure will want to greet you besides the provost marshal. Oh, yes, there is a message from you, from an Evan, who wanted to speak with you about... That's awkward. About a Karine, probably to let you know about the...
That does make sense.
Yep.
Yes.
What is your, before we part, what is your
Yes.
grebe policy?
Oh, well, as long as the grebes stay muzzled, you can, if you have a grebe that you have to walk about with, you can certainly walk about with your grebes.
Right. Good. All right, thank you.
They are not going to, they're trained, I hope?
Of course, it's a service grebe.
Ah, yes, well,
I have
if it-
anxiety.
Oh, so, well, wait, and they start taking notes.
And
Service
vertigo.
grebe.
Yes.
Vertigo, yes. Well, if you have a service grebe, please be rest assured that on
Colorblind as
Torpol.
well.
Oh, yes, okay, well, yes, we'll make note of that. If you wish, we will make sure that your grebe, if you will be planning on staying at one of our resorts while you're here, or will you be staying on the ship?
Likely
you can
on
decide
the
when-
ship, but we may change our plans depending on our budget.
Yes, yes. Well, let me give you the next berth for you down to the south, where you will be able to get any maintenance done on your ship. Also, of course, to meet with all of the provost marshal and whoever else might be there waiting for you. Welcome to Torpol.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Remember, no weapons off the ship or armor.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
And remember also, when you step off of your ship, you step into a land of luxury, an exotic and pleasurable and relaxing land of luxury where nothing can harm you and you can put all the troubles of your day away.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Very exciting.
You're
stuff.
welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited
Yes.
to relax, which is a sort of a bit
Yes.
well, anyway, thank you.
Yes, of course. You are sent down to the southern downport.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as they're gone, Quint's like, I guess they've never heard of fist fights.
Yeah, I just, it's interesting how they were so like weapons aren't here. It's like, you believe that, or are you informing? I don't know.
No, it's the
Really-
tourism thing. They want people who have lots of money and are rich to feel safe because
Yes, of
nobody else down here has weapons. I mean, you and I both know that people have weapons down here. I'm going to be having my a weapon with me down there,
Yes,
but
yeah. Raise your hand
just
if you have
don't
a
say
weapon.
anything about it. My hand
Because
is
you're
Yeah,
going to be
there it is.
arrested like Kareen, who also decided to have a weapon with her, but it's fine.
I will leave my other weapons here, but just don't say shit about this, okay?
I think I'm just gonna go. You know what? I don't think we need Kareem. She's gonna go and get herself locked up. I don't.
Look,
They'll just
I
get
doubt she
someone
knew
else.
about the knife policy.
Right.
You know she doesn't really read. Can't.
Right. I mean, I don't.
So
I mean, there's plenty of other fish in the sea, and maybe someone who will actually
who
not,
are
you know.
willing to be super down with piracy or not care?
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
but we're not pirates.
We are pirates, Severance.
We aren't pirates. We will be performing
private-
piracy.
okay, We are
but we are not
privateers.
pirates. Thank you.
So-
Yes, thank you. We are privateers for the Empire of Drinax.
When it comes time to board pirate ships and pirate goods, while they're doing privateering, I think Korea
If
is
you
something we
pirate the
probably want
pirates,
to
you're a
have.
privateer.
Yes, but we're not pirating pirates yet. We're not supposed to.
We
at
have.
least. We have, but we're missing
more-
steps.
we're
We need to
more
cause a
privateer than we
piracy
are pirates.
problem.
And we have a letter of marque to be a privateer.
Country that doesn't, kingdom that's not recognized yet. So as you're moving your way down,
Oh, they'll
you're-
recognize us.
you notice, of course, that because Torpol doesn't have really a lot of surface land, much of their industry takes place on orbital industrial facilities, right? So you've got like the big high port, and then a little bit lower, right? Sort of a little bit lower in the atmosphere, you've got all these sort of sort of orbital industrial facilities where they're doing
A
a lot
high
of their
port
work.
and a not as high port and an even shorter port.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, and there's like lots of them, right? There's like chemical refineries. Like they do a lot of their work to do all of the sort of work with the hydrogen fuel in these sort of orbital facilities, right? And so
Right.
as you're sort of flying down, they try to keep them less visible because they're a little bit ugly and they don't want them to like ruin the vibe of your
The
view.
aesthetic. Yeah.
The aesthetic. But there are a lot of, basically they have all their factories are in space, right? Or in space around the planet.
Of course.
And as you come down to the sort of southern port by the southern ice cap, you're flying in, and they've given you a berth where you can stay there. You see that the port itself, when you sort of land and you're not left the ship yet, you have to wait for it to be disembarked. This is They can also give you full refueling down here as well.
Right. I feel like we can get fueling anywhere because this is a hydrogen, is their main trade.
Yes. You can
Right.
drop down, refuel. And when you come down here, there are like a number of ships down here. And as you are sort of waiting to disembark, all of this sort of paperwork's done, and you hear, Wesley, can I get off the ship at this time, or do I have to stay on the ship? Can't Malcolm
would you
stay
like
on the
to
ship
do?
and watch it? I just never get to leave the ship.
You can leave the ship if you want.
Just no weapons off the ship, Wesley. You'll get arrested.
You know who should stay on the ship?
Who?
Looks over to Quint.
Quint's like, you don't want me to help with the
You've got a
person.
weapon. You've got your hand.
The tech level of this planet is probably not going to be able to detect my arm.
All right. But if you go to jail, you're going to jail.
Because Quint would know this. Quint would have been like, okay, tech level this, yeah, we're good.
Right. All right. Well, I guess we could leave Malcolm, or he could come with us.
Malcolm technically is the new person, and then we've technically had the new person stay back with the ship.
But I'm older than this one. I don't think I should have to stay on the ship.
And I'm the oldest one on the ship.
Sir, do you want me to guard the ship?
I mean, we could lock the ship.
Well, that's true. We can. And Wesley's like, all this time I've been staying on the ship, we could have just locked it?
Oh,
Yes, that's right. We were worried
Wow.
about you.
Fine.
This place seems fine. For the most part.
For the most part.
Besides the pirate attacks planetside, which is where we are. Besides that, everything's fine.
As you disembark the ship, and Malcolm's coming along because he's your squire, and although he now has technically been knighted, but, he still feels like a squire to the great hero, Severence. And Wesley's really excited to actually leave the ship this time. And as you step off the ship, I need to note a couple of things about what you see. As you're coming into the South Pole. And this whole South Pole is full of blizzards, right? It's like blizzards everywhere.
Ooh.
Like, it's cold, it is snowy, it is, that way. But when you sort of step out, you wouldn't know that at all. Because there are holograms of tropical beaches and sun-kissed seascapes blocking, and there's like a nice sort of like a force field, right? So that everything is climate controlled. But like, even though outside of this sort of space, it is kind of cold and miserable. Also, when you came flying in, there are people who live out there. Probably the people from this planet live out in the snowy, miserable areas, but you have landed in the place with really nice holograms, making everything look very beautiful. And it is quite warm. I don't know how much money they're spending on warming this place, but it's quite warm in here. Very nice, very tropical, beautiful. And as you come down off of the gangplank, you see two figures immediately there waiting for you. I will note that there seems to be a bit of busyness around the ship in general, because there are technicians who, like, you can tell, like, there's like this huge sort of module where the med bay is that has been ordered and sort of to be brought onto the ship, right? So there's like a bunch of people who are waiting to go and like refuel and sort of build this thing, and so like there's a lot of activity. And you see two Aslan, who are also like right there, like as if you're greeting party. One an Aslan male and one an Aslan female. You can tell by their size because Aslan males are quite huge. They're like 8-9 feet sometimes, between 7 and 9 feet. And could I get a description of these two?
Well, of course. So you look across the berth where you landed, and there is a little over an 8-foot-tall Aslan. Both of them dressed in black with hooded black cloaks on, and a duffel bag, each of them carrying massive, probably 4 feet for the male. Several cases. Quint would probably be able to recognize immediately that these were weapon cases. They seem to have like bindings and stickers all over them to denote that they have been cleared for transport. And they, as soon as they spy Severence, the smaller one takes a step forward, and the male puts a hand on her shoulder, and they walk shoulder to shoulder toward you. When he gets close, again, over 8 feet tall, he would take a knee in front of Severence. Corsair Admiral, Captain Baron Severence. Do I have permission to walk by your side?
Yes, you do. Your name? What may we call you?
Sotomasi.
Sotomasi.
This is my ward, Reese.
Hello.
Reese.
And how old is Reese, would you say?
Well, taking into human consideration, she would be right around 13, 14. And I can at least show everybody on our end a picture.
And I could probably get one here. Let me see. I love Greg very much. I know. I can't handle it, actually. Where's my image right here? I've pulled out these things, and
I'll just tell you this. Reese does not look like a lion. She looks like a black jaguar. She has short black fur all over her, and you can barely see some of the lightly imposed spots coming up on her neck underneath her cloak.
And I just want to remind everybody, because I know that people have these feelings, that Aslan are not lions, despite the fact that humans keep saying that, and that always irritates them, because they are not lions. And Vargar are genetically descended from wolves. So if you think of them as wolves, that's not incorrect. However, Aslan are not descended from lions, and it always ticks them off when people say so. And they look sort of lion-esque, I guess, but a bit more like there's another sort of leonid animal that have kind of weird ears with like little. Anyway, not lions. And I'm gonna pull this art up for you all while you were
Definitely
talking.
not lions.
Now, with that all being said, Sotomasi looks exactly like a lion. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
How old does Sotomasi?
By human standards, he'd be in his early 40s.
But how is that for Aslan?
Just slightly younger. He is 40 as his age goes.
But that's a hard age for Aslan. That's when they start all going downhill. They start having pains in their knees.
Aslan go downhill fast.
Yeah.
You have no idea the rolls I made. You have no fucking idea the rolls I made.
That is awesome. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you have these two.
I was close.
And this young sort of Aslan girl, and they are there, and she is staying very close to him, just to make sure, I guess, for safety or security, comfort. But she's looking quite expectant to see, what's going to happen, I guess is the best way to put it.
Dr. Valentine sent me.
I'm sorry, what?
Dr. Valentine sent me to aid you.
Yes, I was wondering if this was the person. This is the people that Dr. Val... good. Well, he just seems genuinely impressed. Yes, of course, you may walk by our side or prowl, or yes.
Then he would rise, and as he does so, he would reach inside of his jacket and pull out a locket of his own hair that is burned on one end.
Oh.
and he hands it to Severance. I am yours until you return this, or it is consumed in the flame.
Good. Thank you. This is mine until that.
And
Yours?
by
This
the way-
is you? Is this?
Yeah, those are. I
Yes.
got the images up there for you of our.
Yeah, that is sick. Right. What do people genuinely do with this? Like a necklace, a pin, a brooch in the pocket?
as long as you hold it, I am your vassal.
Like this? Like hold it? Or...
Possess it.
Ah, yes. Good, good. Right. I will figure out how and what and how to deal with that when I have the time. But yes, welcome to the crew. What are your skills? If you have, I see that your size is probably one of those skills. You are massive.
Protection. I can be very quiet. He seems like he wants to say something else, but it would probably be the smaller one that would say that I can do it. We're both mechanics.
Oh.
Wesley
Wonderful.
looks like like
Like,
of
how
course he was
confounded
gonna
this to me?
right. But now he was going to say that he was a mechanic, but now he's actually the engineer, so he's like, so he doesn't say anything. But you can tell he's got like, well, who is this, right?
Well, that's wonderful. Maybe you could teach Wesley a couple of things. Wesley is our mechanic engineer, mech-engineer.
As soon as
junior
he would
engineer.
hear that, as soon as he would hear that Wesley has a rank on the ship, he would extend a very deep bow to the point where his mane would touch the ground, and then he would stand back up. I am at your service. And he would look down at the smaller one, and she'd say, "Boss, boss."
Sort of look over at Wesley expectantly.
Wesley
Just
looks-
give Wesley a little pat on the back. like a it's all right.
Well, I can show you. We can get you rooms, and I can show you all around if that's if Dr. Morrissey says.
He would immediately pick up all of his things. He would even, Reese would probably jump up into one of his arms. He's holding several 100 pounds of equipment.
Nice.
Well, we've got rooms. We're not gonna take. And you can tell that like Wesley has just decided that no matter what, they're not giving up that other stateroom to make it into a med bay because more people are coming on this ship, so that they need those staterooms. So he's like, well, let me go and show you around. Admiral, can I just give him the whatever rooms?
Yes, of course.
Is that all right?
Yes, give them whatever they like. Yes, whatever fits them, whatever they fit in, whatever if they fits, they sits.
Oh, all right. And as you're about all to go onto the ship, that's when you can see.
Soto doesn't leave. Doesn't leave until he is dismissed by Severance.
Yep.
So he would stand just in front, holding all of his gear with Reese in his arm.
Oh, you
Well,
may.
you can't even get onto the ship yet. You're about ready to do. You've got logistics when you can see a retinue coming up. You have got a retinue of. There's like a kind of a. Now I will note there of course is trade that you can do on this ship, but there's people have to talk to you first. There's a young man. He looks pretty young, shaved head, and he's wearing orange robes. And bright orange robes, and he's got this a tiny golden fez is what he's wearing, shaved head, and the tiny golden fez is also a small tiny scale model of the starport. So it's a little golden fez with a little starport on it, and he's wearing these sort of bright gold robes with sort of like a necklace with like big sort of golden medals. He looks to be there's a lot of gold on this guy, right? He seems to be important, I guess, is the best way to put it. And he walks up with like 2 guards. The guards themselves look again like concierges, but their clothing is cut such that they are probably have sort of subtle armor, and they probably have access to weapons somewhere on their body in a way that is again not very visible, because they don't really want to make anybody feel uncomfortable.
Because there's no weapons here.
Right.
Severance and I are just like, yeah.
They probably, if you're going to guess if they have weapons, they probably have stun guns or something like that, but like inside of their coat, so it's not.
I'm just like looking at them like, that's where they could have one stashed. That's where they could have something stashed. That's where I would stash things. Yeah.
Yep. And this,
which I'm not stashing right now, out of respect.
Yep. And this fellow has got. I will also note that one of the guards is carrying something quite, perhaps threatening to Severance. A tray of drinks, large globes, umbrellas in them. Some of them are frozen. Weird straws.
But because it is such a big tourism place, there's probably at least one mocktail on there.
Oh, absolutely.
I better be.
Yeah. But it's like, what I'm telling you, it is like, it is going to like New Orleans or Tijuana. It's like, it's all of that, right? And he walks up with this huge smile, and he goes, well, hello. I am so pleased to meet you. You are the gambler, and you, I'm guessing, are the Admiral, Lord Severance, I presume I've heard you're coming, yes?
Yes, Lord is also a title I will now accept.
Yes, and I've seen you meet the Aslan, hello, the gambler, the representatives from Drinax, yes, hello, it is so good to see you. I'm so pleased to have you here. We have been expecting you. I am Provost Marshal Fawkes. It is a pleasure to have you all here on Torpol to help deal with our small little sticky situation. I know that you're probably here for vacation for the week that you are here, but I thought that we might get down to business first. Oh, you have some supplies. I can get people to take that onto your ship so you don't have to carry anything at all. Would you care to join me for a small meeting, or do you need a bit of time? It is a bit of a... Well, I'm so pleased that you're all here. No one has come to visit us about our situation for quite some time, so we thought that we might have been abandoned. We have put out quite a few words.
If this was a person we knew of, would you say this would be played by Jeff Goldblum?
I would say this would be played by a young Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yes, okay.
Jeff Goldblum in the era of the tall guy, when he was still like Invasion
of the Body Snatchers, like right around.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. A little gangly, right? A little ridiculous. Not yet a leading man, but could be, right? It's like Earth Girls Are Easy level of Jeff Goldblum. Absolutely.
Right.
So, let me get you drinks. Can I make sure everything is taken care of? We will take care of your ship. We'll make sure everything is built on there. And would you mind accompanying me? We have much to discuss.
Mm-hmm. I will say that Quint and Wesley's room would be very well locked, for reasons.
And Wesley goes, I can show him where everything goes. And sighs.
And I'll put a hand on his shoulder and say, we're going to be here for a whole week, Wesley.
All right. And
Wesley, what's the matter? It seems like you don't want to be the steward, which you don't have to be the steward, Wesley.
But I'm not the steward.
I know, but you're acting like you are.
Things have to be put in certain places for the med bay.
Well, acting engineer. All right, come on. And he's going to take all of these. There's a lot of people who want to sort of take things in and move them onto the ship. Med bay, all of this sort of gear. But they are happy to take all of this stuff off your hands so that all of you, not Wesley, can go and have this meeting with the Provost Marshal.
Right, yes, before we do, hold on. All right.
And then you hear Val go, the ship is now being monitored and locked. And Wes is like, I'm still coming in. All right, you
sorry,
all come
Wes.
with me.
Sorry.
It's all right.
There you are.
Thank you. And he will take this whole, like, there's like maybe 15 crew people who are going to come and like help build this thing into the ship and move all your gear, including all of your sort of signed off bags. And he will wait for this entire group, including Malcolm, who gets to come along because he's not volunteering to stay on the ship, with him, if you all follow.
All right. I do. I definitely. I'm liking this place so far.
Would you like drinks? Please, I would love to make sure you have some. Drinks?
Yes. Do you have a fojito?
Oh, yes. And he looks at this plate that one of the guards is carrying has way more drinks than people. And he goes, Fojito, yes. And he hands us Fojito to, and you are Aslan.
Thank you.
I know no vet will matter, but we do have a good fruit beverage for you.
He would take the Fojito before it gets the Severence and take it with his massive 3 fingers, and he would sniff it.
Oh.
And
then hand it to Severence.
Oh, I assure you, we have no sort of poison or danger on Torpol. This is a place to relax. And he's saying that as
none of
you're
us said poison. Why would anyone? What do you mean? No one? We wouldn't have poison. Why would you even say? None of us said that.
No, and I will note at this point, Malcolm is like, "Wait a minute, this Aslan's doing my job," and now you can see that Malcolm is like, like I don't know how I feel about that. He needs to adjust to being a knight, not a squire. And he says this thing about how everything being safe and relaxing. And he says that as you're sort of walking through this huge bazaar of people everywhere. And then you go, like, you turn around a little bit here. There's some more pictures of, like, beautiful sandscapes. You turn around, there's a door, and the door itself has got, like, again, you almost don't see the door because it's, like, still has, like, there's like a beautiful sort of like hollow thing over the whole vista. Like there's like a whole sort of beach space. And when you get to the door, the provost marshal sort of he has his like watch and he goes over like a sensor. And then this door opens up in this beachscape. And when you walk in and the door shuts behind you, you are in the grayest set of corridors you've ever seen. And it is all gray corridors. And you go to this like it's like a private area of this sort of downport, and you sort of go through and you just now start seeing people who are like working, and you can see like surveillance cameras everywhere, and these surveillance cameras, these banks of surveillance cameras are like all over this place, but also space everywhere. There's all of this space, and you sort of move your way through into an office, and it's his office, and the office itself is again mostly gunmetal gray, but there are very efficient, but there is still a nice bar, and there's still like food. And when you sort of come in, there's like a whole plate full of different kinds of finger foods. There is a separate plate that is just for the Aslan, that is sort of set up for their gut biomes. And he's like, so if you don't mind, I would appreciate if you could just sit and we can talk about what happened, if you're ready and willing to help us.
Trooper, can I make a roll real quick?
Absolutely.
Is there any way that Soto can roll to like stealth or something to keep he and Reese out of the camera's eyes as much as possible? I know that they're everywhere, but you know, the ones that he can recognize,
yes,
the kind of...
Yes, please. This will be stealth dex.
Okay.
I'm just making note. I will say I've got my earrings in that record everything all the time. So I'm just making note of like entrances, exits. Because cameras are everywhere. I'm gonna. Yeah, they're everywhere.
13.
So of course you can't make it so that no camera will pick you up, but you can make it so that they never actually see who you are, right? Like hoods are up, so like your figure is passing through, but they're never going to get a good look at you. And they won't even necessarily, like they might know that there's an Aslan because you're so tall. But with Reese, again, could be anyone, right? So you're able to make it so that there's never any good footage of you in case anybody is recording.
Excellent.
And as you sit down, you're expecting this guy, the provost marshal, to drop his friendly act, but he doesn't actually. He still remains pretty friendly, as it is. And he's like, "Well, welcome to behind the scenes, backstage, as we might say, to the wonder of Torpol. I'm so glad you're all here. So, welcome. We are in need of your help. We have had a pirate attack, and we've been told that Drinax is interested in helping. And as a matter of fact, and he pulls up a small little, I would say it's like an iPad, but I would go a little bit earlier to like a handspring or a Palm Pilot, sort of that sort of style.
I have one of those right here.
Yeah, it's a little bit earlier, right? And he's like, I see that we had an interview with you as you came into the high port, and that your transponder was off for about 1 minute and 57 seconds. And according to the report that I've received, while you were in transit down here, that is because that you were doing pirate interdiction, that you were chasing possible pirates. That is what my sources tell me.
But yes, that was, then your sources are correct. And I assume this is wonderful news for you.
Oh, yes. I also would love to say that I have gotten some word. We have quite a few people here out and about. I've gotten some word of things that have been transpiring here in the Reaches, specifically concerning your ship. What I have heard here is that your ship was involved in an attack on pirates at number 1. That your ship, the Gambler, took out some pirates. I'm so sorry to hear about the bounty that's been put on your head by said pirates, but please know
how much
you
is
are
it?
certain.
Do you know?
Yes, indeed. Would you like to know?
Yeah, of course, yes. I would like to know what we're worth.
Well, 23,000 credits.
That's it. Okay. That's fine.
Yes. Well, you've only just begun to attack these pirates. I imagine when you do that more, you will have a higher bounty on your head.
Oh, thank you for the explaining that.
Soto looks very disappointed at that figure.
Yeah, it's a very embarrassing figure, is what I would say. Like,
That's it?
What this? Yeah, what I would
Traffic
say.
violation.
Yeah. What I would say that says.
That seems really mild compared to what we did. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yes. So what that's going to tell you is that people are interested, but the interest in you at the moment is sort of low. Like, now, some specific parts might be very, very interested
Peter
in you,
Phallus.
but like Peter
Right.
Phallus.
Peter Phallus.
But the general pirate regime is sort of like,
Yeah.
basically get some info. Let's see if there's anything interesting. So you're not necessarily in the worst situation at the moment. But the Gambler does seem to have a bit of a building reputation of attacking pirates.
Good.
Oh, well, and if you are these pirate hunters, and, well, I'm very happy to have you here. We are in a bit of a tricky puzzle. And by the way, the Provost Marshal Falks, I am the Starport Administrator here. And I don't know how much you know, but in Torpol, the Provosts are, well, we are the ruling body of Torpol. We are a collection of administrators and facilitators, and we make sure the society on Torpol works well, and we are some of the expert traders, we prognosticators. We, and those who are the greatest of us, who do the most for Torpol, who have the most return of investment and who are the most efficient, and, well, that is what will get you to become the Grand High Provost. But
Congratulations for your successes.
I am not yet the Grand High Provost. But if the people that I have brought in, you all, to solve this problem are able to do so, that would go quite a long way for my success. So, since your success is my success, I am here to make sure you get whatever you need to be able to solve this problem that we've had. If we can find these pirates, well. Are you ready?
Yes, of course. I'm not sure what
All
there is
right.
to be ready for. You ought to give us an onslaught of information, yes?
Yes, a briefing. I'm so glad that you're as excited as I am. And he's just, excuse me, and he snaps, and one of the
And
guards
Quint would have like a
comes in.
data pad out to take notes.
And one of the guards steps up, presses up buttons, and a what do you call it? Screen comes down, and a projector pops up. He's like, "I'm so excited for you to see my presentation," and he has a PowerPoint presentation for you.
Wonderful.
And your administrator, is very excited and ready to tell you what happened. But before he does, you can see the footage starts cropping up, and you start seeing all of the orbital facilities, like footage of these orbital facilities. And he's like, well, we had a pirate attack. And as he says that, we're going to take our break. And when we come back,
Fix my chair.
you will get your report. And there's going to be, that I will not say out loud, but there will be a lot of economic data and pie charts also, as well as
just sort of going.
footage of violence. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, and when we get back, they're going to find out something about this pirate attack, and maybe also enjoy themselves, and also maybe deal with their crew member who is currently,
Probably not. I think we traded
In
green
prison.
for a really cool black cat jaguar
yeah.
Aslan.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's. I think we're. But,
you're
oops,
good.
sorry, Green, you're out.
All right. Stretch your legs, drink some water. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We are back, everyone. We are back. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the second half of our episode 7 of The Gamblers. I am very excited. They are on Torpol. Torpol, a water planet where all of their big cities and resorts are on these big stilted platforms in the shallow waters. People live basically on the poles of the planet. There are millions and millions of people who live here, but they've made a name for themselves as sort of like a tourist destination for the big ships that are flying through. They do a lot of fuel refinery, they're doing their business, and they had some sort of pirate attack, and not a pirate attack that hit some ship that was coming in and out, a pirate attack that hit them. And so they have asked our crew to come and help them out. Our crew at the moment is in one of the office of the Provost Marshal, Provost Marshal Falks, a young man who's quite ambitious, who would like to be promoted, and to do that, catching pirates would be very, very helpful. And so he's brought the crew in to sort of check out the evidence, to see what they can do, so they can maybe help bring in these pirates to justice.
I already have my suspicions. Immediately, I'm excited to be right.
And while you're out here, you've got a week to do trade and all the other kinds of things that one does when one is in a port. At the moment, we have our crew here, including 2 new crew members, 2 Aslan, who have been sent here by Val Morrissey, who, if you recall, speaks Aslan. and also Varger. So there's some questions about what Val had been doing all of those years. I suppose we'll find out.
I
at
was
some point.
thinking about that.
Yeah, Val speaks Aslan. He's actually quite aware of Aslan culture. Anyway, interesting.
Yeah, that's so cool because like you're still telling Val's story and playing a different character. I love it. Anyway, never mind. Don't bring it up anymore because I'm saving it for the love at the end.
Yep. And as we speak, you have one crew member in prison, Kareen, who had a knife on her and is
Former
currently
crew
in prison.
member.
On vacation, and you know that Evan wants to speak to you to let you know that Kareen has been imprisoned because Evan was on a ship that jumped out just like 2 days before you did. And of course, where do you go? You go to Torpol. That's where everybody goes from Drinax. That's like the very obvious place to go. And as all of you are in this room, the provost marshal brings up this presentation. He says, well, all right. So, what I would like to tell you is what happened. So as you know, we have our high port. We have a number of different, we have some main, down ports and of course some pleasure ports. We also have a number of orbital facilities where people we do our refining fuel. We are a major fuel trader, producer. That's one of our main things. If you'll see, and you can see this sort of like this, it's kind of like this beautiful panorama of all of these different sort of orbital facilities sort of in a ring. You see, this one right here, this particular orbital facility was the one that was attacked. It's an automated chemical refinery. It was this one here. And wait, if you'll see, he's got like a keyboard. He's got like a whole sort of suite of like electronics and computer tech with him that he's using to sort of bring up these various feeds. And he sort of runs some keys through. And then it switches to the onboard cameras of this factory, this sort of automated chemical refinery. And you can see then from the position of this factory. And no, there's really nobody there are no people on this place because it's all automated. It's all this is all being done automated style. But you can see the cameras. And what the cameras show you is that there's nothing. You just see sort of space, and that kind of slightly fuzzy sort of security surveillance camera sort of texture. And then you see two ships that there is on. So one of the things is this place, Torpol, is a really good. You all are a fairly small ship. Some ships that are trading ships are huge. Like you're like a 200 D-ton ship, but there are trading ships that are like 1,000 D-tons, like massive trading ships, usually run by corporations. And they cannot always refuel in many, like they could never refuel at Drinax, right? Because Drinax just does not have the space in its high port. And you have to have a place that has a high port that's big enough for these big, massive ships. And Torpol has built these orbital refueling stations, these orbital refueling platforms that if you're one of these massive ships, right, you can like land on those. So there's more than one refueling space in this area. So you can like drop on that platform or that platform or that platform. And what the footage you see is two ships leave one of the orbital refueling docks and start approaching this refinery, this factory. It takes a while to get there because the distance between them is not super short. But as they're coming in, you see these two ships, and they then just start firing laser fire. Like a barrage of laser fire just comes out of these ships automatically. And what you can see before the footage goes dark is that whoever is one of their gunners is very, very precise. And what it does is it severs, the laser fire severs the line that's holding in one of these cargo modules from this refinery, severs it. And then this other ship comes in, swoops in, and steals this fairly large cargo module. So you've got two ships. One of them is providing, like, severs this cargo module, then provides cover, while the other one swoops in and takes it. And then both of them leave. From what you can tell from this, the footage is a little fuzzy. If you wanted to sort of like do more investigation, you have to like sort of get in there start doing some computer work on it. But the first pass, what you see is in an unenhanced version is a far trader, is one of the ships, and the other one is a 400 D-ton salvage hauler, like a so you've got like a salvage hauler and a far trader coming in, and Falk sort of puts this on a loop. He goes, well, I mean, I can confirm that both of the ships did refuel at one of our main orbital docks, the one that you came in on, as a matter of fact. What I can also tell you, and you can keep this sort of footage of this attack, and of course after the cargo module is sort of taken, it just sort of like shorts out because these ships like shoot out the surveillance cameras.
Which role was the fart raider doing?
The far trader is the one that severed the
Okay,
the
that one did
module and provided
that one
cover.
did the severing. Okay,
Yeah.
and the 28 D-ton larger ship did this.
The 400.
400 D-ton did the swooping and the scooping, the swooping and the scooping. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me, would it be possible to get a copy of this footage for study purposes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yes, anything you need. If there's anything you need that will help you catch these people, of course. I would sort of note what I have done a little bit of a initial sort of asking about. Presumably you would do a better job than I, but I can tell you from our records that they did all of their business electronically when they landed, just regular trading. But they they gave false names. They claimed they gave the names of their ship as the Argo 1 and Argo 2. And all they did was they just bought fuel and then departed. They didn't even stay the full week, and none of their crew left the ship. So they... We wanted to go and do our inspection, but we ended up doing it electronically. So we have no idea who was on the ship or anything else about that. Everything they did was seemed like a brief stopover. These two, the Argo 1 and the Argo 2, just.
Do you know which one was Argo 1 and which one was calling itself Argo 2?
The smaller one was the Argo 1, and the larger one was the Argo 2. But if you, I can send over this footage, of course. But if you would like any access to any of our administration, computer records, anything you can do to find these pirates, yes, you're welcome to use my console, whatever you need. I'm happy to help. But if you could do something, this is very unusual for pirates to attack actual. And we can't let this get out. If this sort of thing, got out, it would ruin our reputation. Anything you can do. And he gets up and he steps away from the console so that you can take over. He's just hoping that you could do something with this.
Yeah, I'll go over and I'll start looking, seeing how much I can enhance the image by, and I've got my computer with me as well, so that if I need to do it in case my computer is better or whatever, just gonna try to.
Do we know what was inside this cargo module that would be so sought after?
Well, it's a bunch of fuel, really. That's what we sort of specialize in, and I don't know why they would do that to us. It's perhaps they need fuel, I imagine.
Refined or unrefined?
Oh, refined. Which, of course, if you have unrefined fuel, it makes more difficult to... it makes the jump drives quite unstable.
Of course.
But, yes...
Information.
Yes, but it was quite a lot of fuel, worth quite a lot of money, although I imagine... I don't... Could I get an electronic sensors check from you? It's a difficult check. That's a 10.
Not an electronics computers, because I'm on his module. He's on his station.
To enhance
the recording.
the footage, that's sensors. There are also some electronic computer checks you can do afterwards, which is about now I will note you can take extra time to reduce that
I will
difficulty.
do that. I will take extra time for sure. Yeah, I just thought sensors was like active searching, and so computers would be like passive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is you can search with sensors to enhance the footage, but also Severance still has 7 leadership plus ones to give.
That's right. I will also give one to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take time and then I'll make.
Thank you for reminding
sensors
me.
check.
I'm marking it down.
Soto would look over at Severance, basically requesting permission to speak.
With those puppy dog eyes. I is there something you wish to say?
With your
Sotomas?
permission, Captain.
You have my permission to speak freely when you wish to speak freely.
My thanks. Who was in charge of telling you what was in this cargo?
Oh, that's just normally what it is. It's a chemical refinery. We don't really have
Who
anything
signed off on the inventory in the cargo?
Oh, well, it would be the head
Look
of the...
over at Quint.
It would be the head of
there.
the...
I make a side note on like a tablet to like look up like another name.
I can go and give you one of our provosts in charge of manufacturing and have them come in. It's all fairly standard routine. I still don't quite know why they would do this. It's just a lot of fuel. A lot.
Well, it's
Worrisome.
quite simple if these are pirates. Pirates would need fuel to travel, obviously. And also,
Right.
refined fuel for free is quite the resource amongst pirates, and let alone, you know what I bet it is? I bet there's some sort of rat's nest, of a pirate's nest of ships that are airlocked all together somewhere. And maybe these pirates are probably making their way towards that sort of haven to sell their own lumps and sums of this gross manufactured refined hydrogen.
And I will say out of character, what you just said is actually quite spot on, right? That pirates often can't, especially if they're actually pirating, they often cannot stop off at high ports to get refueled because...
Oh, I know it's
Right,
spot on. That's why I said
they're
it.
gonna be wanted, right? But also huge. If you recall, going back to last season or the season right before, there is a. If you look at the map, there is a bit of a problem gap. Let me pull up the map for you all, and so I can show you where it is. So this is a. If you remember. There is a bit of an issue with traveling. So here is Ace, which is interdicted. It's got nothing there. Like it's an E. You notice there's an E starport there, which means you're not getting any fuel. Like that's like a terrible place. No goodness. And that's a bit of a problem in that if you're in Ogma, right, and you have a jump to ship and you jump from Ogma, you can go to Thebes, and if you want to get to Assis, you have to then go to number 1, which again, if you remember correctly, does not have the best high port, and then you jump to Assis. It's a bit of an issue, and so if you recall, Assis announced that they had built a fuel depot on around Ace so that people could jump from Thebes to Ace, go to that fuel depot, and then go to Assis. So trying to sort of open up, and this is like especially important for this little system, is that so many ships are jump 1 ships. And the problem has been that all those jump 1 ships, if they were on Assis, they couldn't get to number 1 because there was nowhere to get fuel at where Ace was. So Assis spent a whole lot of money to build a big fuel depot, like a fuel dump, in the Ace system, so that those jump 1 ships can go from Assis to Ace to number 1 to Thebes, so they can basically extend the trade for the ships that are not as technologically advanced as yours, because not having anything at Ace was basically a big problem for the small ships. So you know that there is a way to like build a fuel depot somewhere in space, which then you could use if you were like a ship that wanted to jump somewhere. You could then jump to some fuel depot and then jump somewhere else.
The pirates are going to stay off the trade route. If you put something right here,
for example,
you open up everything. If you had a flotilla, that's 2 away from everything.
So that's where the pirate's nest is. Perfect. That's where we're going.
Well, you don't know where it is, but huge amounts of fuel cargo.
As an example, that would be
right.
As an example, yeah.
I mean, it also could be here too.
As an example, you might, and it's from the cargo bay that they took. It's a huge amount of fuel. So if you're talking about this big rat's nest, that does not seem like the amount of fuel you need for just one ship to be pirating or just 2.
Right.
It sounds like the amount of that you would want for some kind of fuel depot somewhere that would allow you to get access. Right, like that spot that Greg pointed out. If you had a fuel depot there, a secret fuel depot there, you could absolutely avoid a bunch of those planets up there and get to a whole bunch of places very easily. And remember, most ships are maxed out at 2. Right, there are very few ships that have jump 3 or 4 or more. That is just very, very expensive. Takes up a lot, and most ships are just 1. And if you have a 2, and they're probably going to get 2s, those pirates, they're still going to, that still leaves them, right? So Severance is correct in his thinking about like a big pirate's rat nest and this being a very useful thing for that.
And also, like, I'm not thinking about astrogation and stuff. If someone wanted to jump to that space, let's say you would have to try to jump from Thebes to like, oh boy, what's this one? In the Aslan space?
Yep.
The one. Yeah, boy. Would you go from? You would make the jump from Thebes to boy. Not that one. The other one. This one.
Aquolta.
Yep. If you were to make the jump from Thebes to Ahui. No, not that one. This one down here. If you were to make the jump from Thebes to there, and then your jump fuel would run out, or your jump module would run out into spaces, so you would end there. Like you'd have to like plan on manually make a faulty jump. That's cool. Yep. All right. Sweet.
Now, of course,
like try to jump too far. Right.
Yeah. If you were an Aquoltia and you wanted to get to Thebes, there's no way if you have only a jump 2, unless there's a fuel depot in this sort of like hidden in this empty spot, and you know exactly where it is.
Exactly.
Like, to astrogate, because you just did astrogation, you would actually have to know the coordinates so that you could ping in on it. Yeah. Otherwise, you're stuck. Like if you jump, like normally if you're a ship and you jump into empty space and you don't have extra fuel, so sad for you, you're stuck and you're probably going to just die. Like, because there's nowhere to go.
The coordinates for ships and planets and space stations, celestial bodies are easier to navigate because we're jumping out in the safe window zone spot versus a coordinated, like a
it's wild space. It's not even charted in most cases.
Yeah, that's
right.
Sick. Okay, cool.
So if they were stealing it for that, that's like, again, you are correct. Like having some kind of known location coordinates with a big fuel depot would allow pirates to a lot of
been wanting to do for ages. We should get in touch with these guys. Right.
I will also note this thing that you've been thinking about, right? The pirates, as far as you know, especially Severance, are based out of Thebe, which is right over there.
Right.
And you all have been thinking about wanting to get to Thebe, and you have thought about the fact that it will take you like 13 jumps to get there.
There better be a king of Thebe.
Because there's like, you have to take the long way around, right? From Thebe to Blue, all the way up that route. That's like 13 jumps, right? It's like half a year to get to Thebe. If you go the long way, right? So things to ponder in that way. Our person on comms, on sensors, can I get a?
What is my DC since I've taken time?
You went from 10 to 8.
Okay. Thanks, Trust. I got +1 though from Severance. That's good.
Yes, I did. Give you that +1.
I will. I'm rolling like shit. I'll spend the 2 luck.
Okay.
I have a feeling these enhanced images would be very helpful.
They
no.
might be. They
Trooper,
might be.
they made it sound like there was numerous pirate attacks in this area, but are we led to believe there was
The other
one?
one's in the other system.
The other one's in the other
It's in the
system.
next door. It's in Clark.
Yeah.
Clark was
So
also
these pirates-
pirated.
Clark was
Do they have
also
info on
pirated.
that one?
No, we haven't been to Clark yet.
But they don't have it
That's
at
it.
Torpol. They don't have the information.
No, they might not have communicated with each other. They might have just each individually told Drinax, not wanting anyone else to know. Kind of like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that Torpol's had pirates except Drinax. So
Yes. So you know that both of those places have been hit by the pirates, and they now know, but they don't actually know what happened on Clark, or what was stolen or what was taken. Right.
we don't
But
know if they
something.
even know that pirates attacked Clark. Like they haven't
Yeah.
mentioned it. Like, oh, the pirates in this string of piracy attacks. Like it seems that each one is trying to keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
So
They 1,000% had help here because they wouldn't be able to know which one to take. They wouldn't be able to know the approach patterns. Somebody in Torpol
Yes.
helped them out. We need to find that person to make this a lot easier on ourselves.
exactly, which is
Oh,
why we're
100%.
Yeah.
I've been, my plan or my thought is it's probably the Florian League itself.
So now the Florian League, they're pretty mysterious, but you enhance this footage. Like you
do.
zoom in, it takes a bit of like art. It takes a bit of art to sort of enhance
Yep.
this footage.
Yep.
And
I've had to do this in spy training, so it's like yeah.
yes, you notice you're able to refine this, and you notice a couple of things. One,
And when
The
it's
far trader-
refined, I'll put it up on like where the PowerPoint should be, so everyone can see it too.
the Far Trader is equipped with 2 double turrets, both equipped with twin pulse lasers, which again, most Far Traders are barely armed, if that. So okay, so you've got some weaponry on the first one. The second one, the salvage hauler,
Retrofitted weaponry that needed to
Yes.
be
Yes.
placed and put on there. Yeah.
yes, has 2 single and 2 double turrets.
Wow.
Yep. And what you notice, because you're checking it out,
Fucking
right,
around.
is you've got 2 pulse lasers, 2 sandcasters, and 2 missile launchers. But that's about sort of knowing how deadly and dangerous these ships are, but that's not the thing that catches your eye. The thing that catches your eye is about that hauler. You notice...
The 400 ton one?
the 400 ton hauler, that it has recently been repainted.
Interesting.
And as you're working to sort of like refine, because again, it was a difficult role for a reason, because you have to sort of try
Yes.
to use try to use your sensor array to get through this. You notice this is what the sensor check was really for. A logo and a registry beneath the paint.
Okay.
We just need to go to local hardware stores, find out who bought 8 million cans of spray paint, and we
Yeah.
got them.
Yeah, that's easy.
Absolutely. Simple.
It's although they came in with it already painted, but the logo
Well, that's the
is
hardware
the
store. Which stencil that they block.
Starburst and Starship logo of the Imperial Navy.
Starburst and
Oh.
Starship logo.
I'm quite familiar with that.
You are, and you're able to make out the name of the ship itself,
Okay.
the Mercifuge.
Which one is it? The cargo, right? The Argo
This is
2?
the
Yeah.
big cargo. Yeah, the big 400 ton hauler.
Argo 2.
Is an Imperial naval ship called the Mercifuge.
And this one also had a fresh paint job.
That's the one.
Knowing that,
Yep.
Okay.
and having been tried to get into the Imperial Navy and was in the Scouts and stuff, there's some crossover. Would I know that instead is not a retrofitted weapons to the cargo hauler, but was this a naval cruiser that was retrofitted to look like a cargo hauler?
Yes.
Okay.
They're destabilizing the reach.
Now,
That's our plan, damn it!
Right, how dare they? Yeah.
Now, this is where if you said you wanted some electronics computers.
Yes.
This is where research would come in. If you wanted to research these.
Absolutely.
Yep. That would be electronics comms computers.
Computers. Cool.
What is it? Starburst? What? Starburst?
There's a starburst with a starship in it. That's like Imperial Navy.
It's the Imperial Navy.
Oh
logo.
yeah, okay, from the
Yeah.
Imperial
Okay.
Navy.
All right. Yep. Computers. Standard. Do I have inspiration from my captain for this computer research at this terminal? Oh, Captain, my Captain. Oh, Admiral, my Admiral.
What?
Do I have inspiration from you? Do I have some leadership?
For this next one, what are you making?
Research on this ship probably to see like if it's gone missing or if it's been out of commission or if it's
Yeah,
not. Because if it's not out of commission, that's a big red flag.
You've told us, right, that this is a Mercifuge.
Yes, Quint would be like adding slides to the PowerPoint showing these new updates.
Yes, I think it would be a very good. I think, and I thought of this myself. If you were to do some more research on that.
All right, on the Captain.
Perfect, and then I will give you the +1.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And
That's a success.
Nice.
I'm really rolling bad. I keep rolling so many ones.
Severence.
Yes.
You're giving a +1, correct?
Yes.
You remember something. A dinner.
That's exciting. I just realized, why would I? And then I went, oh, yes, okay.
It was a dinner with your wife.
May I
the naval
roll?
officer.
Oh.
Yeah, may I roll my ancient...
Yes. Ancestral
skill?
memory? Sorry, go ahead. Wrong button. Please, roll that ancestral memory.
Psionic strength, right? It's just 0. Cool. It's probably going to be simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like it.
Yep.
Ancestral memory.
Perfect.
Perfect. Success.
Spend one of your points.
I did.
So these things are happening sort of simultaneously. You are researching, and you are trying to find out something about this ship, the Mercifuge. And you were able to pull up some official bulletins, Quint. The Mercifuge was part of a flotilla of naval ships, imperial naval ships, that is listed as stolen.
Marco Anaros?
And there is a captain. Well,
because it was in a flotilla, that means they're probably all stolen at once. Can I get the other names of the other ships from that flotilla?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there's the name of the admiral, Terrica, who was in charge of this flotilla, and Severence, you remember a conversation with your wife. You were standing by her side at some sort of Imperial naval function. You were just the eye candy, of course, because your wife is the officer.
Always.
And you were just there. And there was this big sort of
ancestral memory. This ancestral
yes. There's like 30 years ago that Terrica went rogue. He was a naval officer, and he fled. He basically went AWOL and took an entire fleet of ships with him. And you remember your wife being so upset, right, that this guy did this terrible thing. And you remember her, like, from different moments thinking that he must still have protection somewhere in the Navy. Your wife kind of does a little of internal security, and she kind of hunts traitors in certain ways. And you remember her trying to figure out who in the Imperial Navy might be still helping him. And this has been going on for 30 years. And you think about something else. It was rumors that maybe he had upwards of 50 ships or more or less. He's a pirate now. He's been pirating this area for 30 years. And you remember now your wife talking that he had been found out that he'd been smuggling. He was part of a smuggling ring. And he was on the naval base at Tobiah, which is in this area. And when he got found out, he and a bunch of other officers basically fled, stole the ships they were part of, and set themselves up as pirates. But you recall an argument. There is no bounty on his head. And your wife was there with you because you were always so good at convincing people to do things. She wanted you there for your charisma and charm. It was a meeting with the Duke of Tobiah. And she was trying to get a bounty placed on him and permission to go after him. And he said that this was nothing that he could deal with. He felt that it should be dealt with by the Navy itself, and that he did not want to get involved, and that they would punish the traitors on their own. And why wasn't she doing a good enough job, right? And so there was, you remember her being so certain that he must have inside help. And you just recall her being sort of slightly obsessed with trying to find him or the traitor that led to him. Yes. And that is what Marrymore remembers. Severence, the Corsair, remembers rumor of him when you were running around being a bit illegal. Being based out of Thieves. As being maybe one of the pirate lords, the pirate kings of Thieves.
So, King of Thieves. So I have an ancestral memory flash with Marrymore talking to a person. I also then have a connection between my actual memory that I have made to where this person can be. So I have that's sweet. So like footage from someone else that wouldn't have known, but that's sweet. Okay, cool. Cool. So this guy so it's like a smuggler lord from the Imperium who is now likely on Thief.
And your wife, who was out there doing like an interdiction in the Reaches, who was looking for those drugs, right? That she is one of those people who's trying to find, she's a little bit of internal security in certain ways, right? Trying to find traitors. Yes. Which now apparently includes you. Her husband, at least. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
But our Aslan Soto had a question about inside people. What were you saying about that?
I was going to say, if you would cross-reference either the date of the attack, the date of hiring with any type of imperial type of history or whatever in the people, because in all likelihood to get a job like that quickly, you would have to be kind of clear of your credentials and not necessarily have anything. Because, I mean, this place is pretty decent, it seems, like with the security. So they would probably try to be as truthful as they could be with somebody that they threw in there. So likely they wouldn't try to obscure their imperial background because again, these ships are coming in under the pretense of, whatever. And if they were stolen, if there was some type of correlation between the date of hire, if they do have some type of, again, the imperial entanglement type of thing was where I was going initially. But if they were stolen, you just have to figure out who was hired and who was on that barge or area in charge before it.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to be doing it.
They were stolen by the admiral, which is interesting because rather than having it listed as, they just have it listed as stolen from 30 years ago. They could have listed this as
decommissioned
or AWOL. There's a way in which
destroyed,
right? So
lost,
it's stolen, but it's there's no, like, he's not this ex imperial admiral probably could have had his name on this in more wanted posters in ways that he currently isn't.
Right. This is a program from the the Imperials are doing this. This is all a work, in wrestling terms. So we need to figure out exactly who's the inside person here. And in all likelihood, they're not going to think they're going to be caught because it's been several weeks, right? Months or whatever since. They will have relaxed by this time. We could find them.
So,
and then we'll kill them until they tell us where we need to go. Then we'll kill them again.
There are a couple of different ways to go about this.
We'll kill him. We'll bring him back to Val. Val can resurrect him, and then we'll kill him again.
You can do this by searching comms logs to see if they had any broadcasts, right? You could sort of like check that way. You could maybe do some... that that nobody on those two ships left their ships at all. They kind of came in, refueled, left, and then made this attack.
But did anybody visit?
No, but that says to you, because you said they have to have a connection, right? Which means you might want to look for the comms logs. If they didn't come in or out, you might be able to sort of check the deep comms logs to see if there's any kind of electronic communication, since there is no physical communication. If this wasn't physical, it would have to be electronic.
Well, then I could start looking. I can use my computer. That'd be another computer's roll, wouldn't it?
It would be a comms check.
Ugh, gross.
And it's going to be very difficult. So you might need more time and also help.
Okay.
And if anybody can task chain to help this might be useful, because this is a 12 that you need.
Ooh.
I DM'd you, Trooper, and the idea that maybe this would help a bit.
Thank you. Yes. Soto, no, but Reese, yes. Yes. And you know why.
Right. As soon as like this was, I'm assuming this is all being discussed in the open as far as
and by the way, the provost marshal is just standing back watching you all do stuff on his computer. He is leaving it to you, but if like the minute you said you need comms, he like snaps and he goes off and he gets off to.
And I'm being nice, and I'm not even putting in my computer bug in his that will download all his stuff. So
Well, because then he's like, whatever you will need, right? Whatever you need, I want to make sure you get it, right? And you're going to get like hard drives start coming in to be attached of like, because it's been a while since they attacked, so they need to go through the old archives of comms logs to like plug those in. So you
I'm
can
just
look
saying that I'm not doing the spyware bug that I have.
Good to note. You were saying.
When Quint is kind of like delving over all of this stuff, and it's obvious that there's a million windows open, and Quint's doing her thing. Soto would feel a tug on his sleeve, and he would look down at Reese, and he would nod. And does anybody speak Troke in here?
No.
I have Aslan friends, but I don't speak Troke. I probably know like the important words just from osmosis, but not enough to be fluent or anything.
Then Soto would say something to her, and she would walk over to Quint and basically say, "May I have permission to assist you?"
Oh, please. Well, like, just grab another chair and pull it up, scoot over.
Then she would sit on the chair, but she would sit like very close to you. Like she's
Sure.
not using much of her chair. She would be
She's trying to sit on your lap.
Quint doesn't have much of a bubble. Quint was in performance arts. Quint's
She
like,
walks
yeah,
across
that's
your
fine.
keyboard.
right, and it works.
Yeah.
Again, she's like 13-ish. She's quite young, right? And so who knows
Pounces on the desk.
somebody like her could do to aid. However,
She should have just rolled it. No, I'm kidding.
oh no. How else will anyone else help? Because she's going to sort of like she's going to sort of next to you, right? Start like
Deep in thinking.
helping to like basically kind of go through and like cut out things that might not be necessary to help.
Go through because we're going through the comm logs. Yeah.
Oh
You're going through comm logs right
It's a
now?
lot
Yeah.
of stuff to sort.
I
through.
will, like, could I also have a copy of that? And I would probably
Yeah.
be reading it alongside them, or skimming through the comm logs as well, just because I have comms and also I'm like the social guy. So it would be kind of hard to, of course, read implication in text, right? But still, like, I think he's going to just make notes of where there could be code.
I mean, because what you're looking
things
for
like
is
that.
a needle in a haystack, right? Because you have just got so much, right? Yeah.
Okay, so Trooper, if Soto doesn't have anything that could really help here, but if this is like a game of like concentration or memory, I guess,
Yes, it
you
is.
know, like
Yes.
that matches. Can I roll recon?
Yes. Yes,
oh
you can.
shit, yeah.
Why? Because this is a game of like this is a game of memory, right? Like you've got all of
Absolutely.
these logs,
Yeah.
and you've got to try. Like you've got, like 'cause this is a mass. Like so many people come in and out, right? And whatever this is, it's going to have been so small, so short, right? So like subtle, right? That you've got to try to find this needle in a haystack. Please, recon would be very helpful.
Do you have a name for the smuggler? Sorry.
Or investigation.
9.
The 9. Okay, I'm noting
So many
it.
questions. Sorry. Troop.
Please give it to me. The smuggler, the admiral, is Darokyn. Darokyn.
Darokyn. I thought that was a species. Okay, cool.
That's his name. So we're gonna have Soto sort of looking right at this massive.
So I'll have it
like,
all
is like,
projected up onto the big presentation screen. I'm just keep sending things over. Like once we narrow down some, just throwing it over.
And Severance, you can do this either with comms or also admin because both of those things could help in this
Oh,
moment.
I can't roll admin.
Admin can help you, but the core has to be comms.
Okay.
So
Would
comms
Streetwise
or
help?
admin.
Well, if somebody had Streetwise, they could use it. But you have to. You're doing the main
Yeah.
role, so you have to do comms. But but
Intellect?
you're right. I would say intellect. Yes, I would say Severance could also use Streetwise
So Streetwise or admin
Interesting.
or comms.
because this is.
Because you're trying to think of how a pirate would.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just looking through all my. It would be intellect or education.
Yeah, intellect.
Int.
Because you're like
Maybe
spotting.
int admin or int Streetwise or int.
If that's the
comms.
case, it's Streetwise, baby, because Streetwise gives me a +4. Everything else gives me +3s, which is just so silly. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm also gonna give Can I give myself a thingy? I don't think
Nope.
so. Right?
Only.
No, you can only give other people.
people's.
Bard rules. Yeah. Okay. I will do this. Modify. No modifier. Right. Wow.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Now,
9.
here's the thing.
That's because I rolled 1. Okay.
This is where we get the roll, the final roll. And this is after all a bit of a montage. I will ask you one more question. Do you want to take extra time?
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Abso 210%.
There it is.
Okay. So,
Absent
what we're
through
going to
the
get
proof.
through
Yes, I do.
I need you as a group to narrate this for me, but please note, we're going to have a couple of hours, actually, right?
Or take a break for a couple hours.
It's going to be a couple of hours
Well, I mean, this is,
going through.
of course, it's going to take time to go through stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got Quint in the center on comms. We've got this little 13-year-old Aslan girl helping on comms. We've got Soto using like like eye spotting, like pattern recognition, like those things. That one different, no, right?
He's
And then
following
we've
red
got-
dots across the...
there's a red dot on the map.
Yeah, and I will say for Reese's sake, I seem pretty comfortable with
Yeah, it was
female
flicking
Aslan
around.
because my patron was female Aslan. So yeah, I might know more of specific interactions with Aslan female customs than I do with males.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know that they are very good at tech, the Aslan.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like, of course, please come help me.
And of course, Severance is going to be looking for criminality, right? So like ways in which people might try to like, how do pirates try to like sneak things in? It comes down to this roll.
Okay. Difficulty?
Electronic comms.
Yes.
10
Difficulty 10.
Wow.
plus 6.
Plus
2 for each
6.
of the people who've helped you.
And do I get a +1 from our leadership from our dear
Yeah,
Admiral?
yeah. That
Great.
was.
So +7.
I guess I was giving you.
Make sure I clicked the
I thought
right
I
one.
gave
I'm
you
like
one right.
paranoid
Yeah, I did.
now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
make sure I clicked the right thing.
This is it.
18, baby! I finally got out of my shit rolling thing. We find it
needed
so
that.
good.
Where- What did you?
That's
roll?
an
Oh, 4 and a
extraordinary
6, hell yeah.
success.
That's an extraordinary success. Yes, this is the good one to get the extraordinary success on. I feel.
Yeah, it is. Also, I would be tying and telling them information about Terrican and this flash.
That could help. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
Because if I know it's an Imperial Navy guy, I'm like, oh, I have experience interacting with those. Okay, let's filter this way instead. And da-da-da-da-da, yeah.
I'm going to need a description from you all how it is you find the one very, very short encrypted radio transmission that did not last very long at all, that went from the Far Trader to a ship down here on the downport. How do you find it?
Well,
It's a
I
needle
imagine
in a haystack.
we've got our lovely new Soto. I keep saying Val, and I'm like, that's not Val. Soto.
Cat Val.
Cat Val. No, Soto. Looking at things and probably just pointing out a couple things like, oh, this is the date range, and then I've got Reese next to me, who's probably just being like great support. Just going through and like
Just
did
like
you put
she's like
these
clearing
filters?
things off whenever you as soon as you say
adding
they're done,
filters,
she's clearing them,
perimeters,
yeah.
clear because it's work exiting tabs. Like that's just
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah, just getting rid of things, bringing in new potential things to sort through, and then I imagine Severance, because he's the admiral, is leaning
Thank
over,
you.
like going.
Got a cup of coffee in my hand. We've been there for 6 hours. There's probably 2 or 3 already empty. Paper
Yeah.
cups all over the table. One's been spilled, dried.
And
I'm
being
still trying
streetwise, be
another
like,
one.
well, if I was trying to do a hit, I wouldn't have somebody on the port. I'd have somebody on the planet. And so we start looking from planet to or ship down ship to up ship transmissions, because he's a smuggler. And then I spot it, and then it's like there. Put in the proper filters, and then bam, narrow it down.
And at the culmination of the hunt, whenever Quint would find the prey and identify
There.
it, yeah, both of the Aslan, I don't know, they're independent of one another, would nod.
Yep.
I do you have right? And I think like we hear or we see like
Can we get some snacks? I think I just have to like
this is
finding it.
all-
I'm like,
we're looking at the transmissions, right? Like the data of it. There's no audio logs or anything.
Nope, but I can tell you what you find.
yes,
And
please.
because
Yeah,
you
tell
have
me-
extraordinary success, I can tell you some extra stuff as well. So, what you find is that there is you find logs of a very short, brief burst transmission from the Argo 1, right, this Far Trader, to another ship that was docked on the downport. And that ship, this is where your extraordinary success comes in, right? Because you can then start pulling off to sort of gather this info, like find out more information about this place or that place. It's a ship called the Misery's Company that was a scout ship, an old ex-scout ship. And it arrived 2 days before the Argo 1 and the Argo 2 arrived. Came in, landed on Torpol. The commander, the ship's captain was a Vargur named Karsh. That's how you would pronounce it in that language. And from what you can find now, looking at sort of records, because you have to go then like cross-reference, right? This ship sold some scrap material, is what they did, to a trader called Holmer, another trader who was around in there. The scrap itself, you've got like, you can get records, like there's like information about it from the trading itself. So you can get information about the kind of scrap it was for later if it comes up. So what you know is that this ship, the Misery's Company, came down 2 days before the two Argos showed up, traded some scrap, perhaps fresh.
That was the
scrap.
payment.
Oh, yeah.
Then it had this brief communication with the Argo 1. It left, went to the jump limit, and this is where Soto comes in a little bit. Soto, you've been here a couple of days, right? You've been here a while. You've been waiting. It takes a while to get here. And you recall hearing people talking at one of the starport bars. And it was a ship's captain.
We have a close-up of Soto's ear behind the main flick with the background and the hubbub of the inn or the bar.
And there is a seaman, somebody from a seam. Maybe this
Thank
is
you.
why this cropped up for Soto, who knows people from a seam. Maybe he's even passed through it. But there was a far trader that is currently actually still on Torpol, called the Sarkomond. And the captain is from a seam named Daniel Law. And the ship is like an old ship. It's like kind of a battered ship. Still flying though. Still kept around. And that ship is docked down here where you are. And you recall the captain complaining in this bar. Wasn't talking to you, but you remember hearing the conversation. That his ship was attacked by a scout ship, and that he was having to go and repair this ship that was like actually very hard to repair because it's this really old, it's a really old ship, and that they were attacked by this ship on its way out. And you, from your conversation, the timing is right, that the ship that he described you think is probably the Misery's Company, that this ship that had come in and traded and then left probably attacked this other ship on its way out. And that ship that was attacked is here on the downport.
Then putting all that together and relating it to everybody with that, if this was the Misery's Company, the potential for it to have attacked this man's ship is great.
Makes notes.
Misery's Company. So you're saying that this scrap sale could be a payment? Which then...
Yeah, who got this? Who bought just the scrap off the Misery's Company?
Which we did get a name
Coming
for.
Out. The Holmer.
Holmer.
Now, either it was a payment or they were selling hot goods that they got somewhere else, right? One of those things that if they had attacked other ships and
But selling scrap to empty your vessel to then go and pirate specific or go and attack specifically seems like an all orchestrated event to slow down or to, it's just, cool.
Now I will say this: these are some things that you know. You know that the pirates that attacked Clark before Torpol. So you have a ship that shows up first with stuff to sell, sells it, makes contact. Probably they'd been there a couple days, which means they might have been doing some surveillance or recon to figure out what to steal.
Especially if they're a scout ship, they've got pretty good sensors.
They've got a scout
flew
ship
one
with
of
very good
those.
sensors. Yep. They've got.
We got to go
they've
talk
an
to this guy to
Imperious-
see if his story checks out, because this could
Yeah.
easily be the second handoff. Yeah.
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 Homer, right? Is where we're going?
No, this is
Yep,
was
Darrow?
Daniel
The
Vall?
seaman.
Daniel
Okay,
Vlau.
yeah, but Daniel Vall, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Who is this? And who's that guy?
He's the captain of the Sarkomond, which was the ship that was attacked
Archimond. Okay, got it. Thank
by
you.
this Misery's company, probably.
Got it.
Sarkomon the White. Sarkomon the White was the ship.
Sarkomon the White. Yep, Sarkomon the White. So he was just a trader that was coming in and got attacked by some scout ship that was on its
Please
way out.
tell me it's played by Christopher Lee.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I'm Sarkomon the White. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes. So that ship that you know
That's
is
all.
still here.
Only reason why I brought up that was to hear you do that voice, dude. It's like the only reason.
You shall.
We now need to find where
Yes. And the
we were
ship, because
attacked
it was
by
damaged,
on the jump lane.
like
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
shot, right? It was shot up. Is still here. It hasn't been able to leave yet because it still needs to do repairs. Kind of expensive repairs. So that ship is still here.
I'm actually going to be writing down Sarkomon the White is the name of the guy.
Let's go get him.
Yeah, let's go do that. Well, I had the great idea, and I knock over another one of my cup of coffee, which then bowls into the empty cups that are nearby. Yes, let's go. Right. Sorry. Woo. All right. I'm jazzed. Let's do this.
Well, now
as-
Soto never would have said that. He would have waited for Severance to go to bed.
Never mind.
But is there any way the provost can
line.
give us leave to carry weapons in case if we're hunting down this specific mission that they've given us?
I don't know about that. Weapons are
Yikes.
specifically not allowed here on Torpol. It makes everybody very, very nervous, you see. Well, if you... did you really need to have weaponry when you're walking out and about?
Jesus, just talking about it is freaking him out.
Is that necessary?
No,
Is
it's
it?
not for some of us.
Okay.
But for some of us, the sword is mightier than the sword.
Swords,
Pen.
Oh, yes, that makes people very, very nervous. Well, we could authorize stun pistols, if you had to have something on you.
Not bad.
But we could authorize that. We could get the paperwork in for that if...
Soto bares his teeth in disgust. The mention of stun pistols.
I know. We could authorize that if that would be helpful.
I think
to
it'll be
get
all
these
right.
Pirates.
I think we've
We
got...
will get you paperwork for that. Stun pistols?
No.
Keep it in mind, and if we wind up needing some, we will get back to you about it.
All right. Well,
Stun pistols are barbaric.
well, and he will have you escorted out back onto the main sort of causeway.
So he's
so
going to
that
stay
you
behind.
Yeah, so he can go and...
But while we're walking out, then I'm gonna hang back a little bit just to have a brief word with him.
Yes, how can I help you?
Yes,
You think you can find
we-
them, yes?
that is the goal. Yes, for everyone's safety and peace of mind. But for my own peace of mind, we had dropped off a crew member here to, take some short leave and maybe do some preliminary asking around about things.
Oh, yes.
Before
Okay.
coming back, because you saw the
Yes.
rats. We had come here briefly before. Miss Karine, and I'll give the last name. I heard she had
Oh.
been unfortunately imprisoned. Unfortunately, she is illiterate, so she most likely did not know about the weapons policy. I would be most happy to do any paperwork required to help get her out due to this unfortunate misunderstanding by our investigative team looking into your pirate problem.
I
I'm
see.
putting him in that spot, absolutely.
I'm gonna need a roll.
Yes.
Yes.
What would you need? Deception? Because it's not completely true. Or admin. I could roll admin here. Social admin?
Persuade?
I don't have persuade. I don't think. Oh, wait, no, I do. I do have persuade. Holy shit. I do have persuade. Social persuade or intellect persuade? Because I'm kind of approaching it from a logical standpoint.
This would be a bit more social, right?
Okay.
Chatting,
Sure. Chatting.
I
I'll
don't.
do it.
I
I'll
just.
try.
I don't know about that. This is highly irregular. Well, I don't. Just. Is this necessary?
Yes. I got your back, Karine.
Do you actually need this person for your investigation?
12 over an 8. I'm so happy about that roll. I was expecting to flunk it.
Yes.
Well, it would be good to have it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but we were rather short-staffed upon landing. So if we have someone, we could have her stay on the ship if it would make everyone else feel more possible. But we do need someone on the ship because of the medbay installation, So she could stay on the ship, but we would need her. It would be helpful because then we could take our engineer off of the ship, who would be very good at looking into the, specifics and mechanics and stuff.
Yes.
We could get him off and get her on.
And he looks up. It seems as if she threatened someone with a knife in one of the starport bars. It seems like she was threatening some Augment trader, it seems, and that sort of a thing. Did not actually stab him, but that sort of a thing is quite...
Well, she is Mardukian, so you understand, I'm sure, the tensions that may have arisen if he found out she was Mardukian. Yes, he could have been a bit... Yes. And she didn't actually stab him. It was probably more of an attempt at self-defense, flight or flight instinct, really.
Yes, you say this is one of your crew members, you said?
Yes.
You are going to help us with this pirate problem, and if this is one of your crew members, I imagine I can get the charges waived, but she would have to go back to your ship and not leave.
Of course, yes. No, that is doable.
We cannot have threats to patrons.
Understandable.
I do understand.
Large misunderstanding.
Yes.
Yes. You know how it is.
Yes. Well, yes, I will have that information sent over.
Thank you. Here's my contact information in case you would need to reach me, and I'll give him my purse because I know Severence isn't gonna do shit to get her out. So I'm like, all right, let me handle this.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I will make note of that.
Thank you.
All right. Yes. Well, I'm so sorry about taking one of you. We had no idea that she was one of your crew members.
She was kind of working, on the down low,
Yes, I see.
Infiltrate,
Of course.
Catch pirates off guard. Yes, of course.
Yes. And I will see if I can find out anything else about the Holmer's ship.
Yes. Appreciate it. Keep in touch. I have my comms on all the time.
Yes. Oh, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you need something, just let me know. I will get on that. Your crew member. Yes.
And I'll be like, you're doing great work. We'll have this resolved as fast as possible.
Yes, I hope so. It's been getting a bit of pressure to get it all finished,
Understandable. Those higher ups, right? Since
Yes.
I'm not Admiral, I can be like, yeah, dude, I get it. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Just hang in there and remember to stay hydrated. It's important.
Oh, yes, by the way, speaking of, would you like one of our flojitos to go?
Sure, that sounds lovely. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Yes, and he gives you another beverage.
Yeah, and I'll take it and catch up with the rest of the group going, Yes. It's the small things. I gotta get my knife buddy out of jail.
As you make it towards this bar, Soto, you've been here before. This is a place where people come to congregate, and it's a bit more of like a less fancy Starport bar. You don't have like all the super rich corporations coming through. And they sort of, but this is more like the more local traders come in and sort of sit.
This is where the employees drink, right?
Yes. And
all the workers show up here, right?
Yeah, and if you're waiting for the gambler to show up, this would be a place to hang. This is also a place that's a little bit less surveilled in case you didn't want to be seen by fancy people for any reason. That I can't imagine any of them, though. But as you arrive, right, it's a fairly raucous place. People are sort of laughing and joking around, and there are people playing darts. It's a fairly sort of boisterous place. And you do see the captain that you met. You haven't spoken to him, but you've heard him talking to people. And he is older, gray, got like kind of like a big head and jaws, like one of those kind of people that just kind of like look sort of wide. And he is surly. He was surly last time. He was complaining quite a lot. And he is drinking.
A napkin with this burrito.
Yes, was sort of irritated as he's sitting there, and he's got like a chunk of like beets and some food. He's getting fresh food because people like their fresh food when they're not on a ship, and he's like eating it, and he's just sort of surly himself, right? He seems to be on his own. His crew must be somewhere else drinking, partying, and carrying on in a way that's going to be quite expensive for him later, as he sits there just sort of frustrated.
Then Soto would identify him probably to Quint, because Quint's in charge of this hunt. So he would turn to Quint and be like, "That is the captain, the wide one."
Thank you. I'll look at Severence, because I hope Severence is here with us as well.
And by the way, Malcolm is
really
still
good at
there.
Yeah.
Malcolm is there,
My thing, fixing
but
my
it's
curtain.
just like, is being the better bodyguard right now for Severance?
Sure.
Just very much.
He's definitely not just kind of overwhelmed by all the weird tech stuff that we're doing when he's used to fighting giant bugs. Yeah.
Yes, he doesn't know what's happening tech-wise. He does not know what that's about, but he's very much a good bodyguard. He's there.
Nice.
Is your captain there, sitting at this table with a drink in his hand?
Well, Severance, do you want to do the talking?
Yes.
You are our captain.
No, but yes.
No, but yes.
No, but I should.
Because I could, but I'm feeling you are.
Why don't you take the lead on this one? I'm more interested in, and I think actually he is going to be looking a bit busy.
Sure.
He goes, yes, because I think he is, and if you are like, what are you doing? And you're looking over onto his comm, he's trying to research more about this Homer guy. I would like to.
I would also relay to you that our admin guy said he would.
Mm-hmm.
He also said he would be doing some more looking into the ship and message me if he got any more information about this whole
Yes, all right, good. I'm hoping to also get in touch with this Homer guy and see if he's willing to make him. I wish to make him an offer on the scrap he may have recently purchased. So I'll try my best doing that.
Yes. That'll be
Good
an
idea,
admin for you.
Admiral.
Fantastic. That's a great move, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be admin or broker. Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Either one of those two.
I'll do admin now. I guess broker would be probably when I make the deal, but I'll do admin now to like sort of do research on him and see if I can get in contact with him. But we can do that later. I just wanted to. I think that's like why I am sort of not in this scene. Where I am, but I'm not. My focus isn't leading the scene because I'm probably going to be leading the scene with Homer. That's just my thoughts.
I see you.
In the event that Soto is going to accompany Quint, can Soto leave Reese with you, and you can use her if you need any type of like electronics or anything for a bump up, like a help action.
I really like how Greg brings a character and then another character, a character and then their companion.
That's
It's
my
really
recipe,
cool.
buddy.
Yeah, it's really cool. Just now noticed it. I was like, all right.
So
yeah.
I'm going to just be to be clear, Severance is not walking over with. It's Quint, Soto, and Reese is going to be sticking with Severance.
Yeah,
right
so
now,
Reese and
correct?
Malcolm will be sticking with Severance. It'll just be me and
Yeah,
Soto.
wonderful. Yes.
Okay. This is important.
I'm gonna this captain. What's his poison? What does he look like he's currently drinking? Is he eating and drinking, or is he just drinking?
No,
Like what's?
he's got some beets and some beets and some meat, but he doesn't look like he's eaten much of it. It
Yeah.
looks like he's drinking hard liquor though.
What's he listening to? Right. That's what I was thinking.
Before we do this, should we all go over there? Should we all like? What do
No, you can hang back. We can call you in for backup, or if we fuck up royally, then you can come in as a fresh face that he doesn't know about.
All right, I like that idea. But yeah, we're in the periphery. We're there. We're enjoying drinks.
Yeah.
Just
We're
note
probably
that.
listening in maybe like we're listening through your open comms, being like, okay, don't right now say this. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We're not actually
doable.
doing that. We're just listening and reading the.
I will say Quint does have the setup to
Yeah,
have that if
to
you
do
want
that.
to talk in Quint's ear.
The only thing Soto would say is because he doesn't have any comms, as soon as Soto would come across, he would just look at Quint and say, I will follow your lead.
All right. And Quint is gonna use one of their old tactics, a classic time-worn melody.
I thought you were gonna say time warp. I was like, oh, cool.
Let's do the time warp.
It's just a.
Everybody scoots over a little bit.
No, Quint is going to
Who are the theater kids here?
surprisingly not me. It's a theater of one. I was homeschooled. Homeschooled. I'm going to order him another round. Because that's always a good opening move. If someone's drinking and you want to get on their good side, order another round. I'm going to go in, like, look at the other company and be like, oh, it looks decent. You're like, like a good drink. Is he by himself or does he have compatriots as well?
Don't order him around.
No,
Just,
he's by
shit.
himself.
All right, jeez, they're already doing it.
He doesn't seem like he's fun to party with right now. He's got an entire crew. They are probably, and also apparently he's getting his ship repaired. So they've probably been here longer than they would have liked. You usually want to be here like week max, right? You know what I mean? Because every time you get a berth, you have to pay for a week. So you want to like do that week, get all of your trading done, do all your stuff, and then get out. And they've probably been here longer than a week. So he's probably super irritated and they're probably partying somewhere.
Right. Cool. Then I will order him a round, a second round of whatever he's drinking, and then a beverage for myself and Soto, whatever Aslan's can drink here, you know. Get
Milk, cold.
Milk, I know it.
Cold milk.
Carbonated
That's
milk.
cold milk.
Fermented milk.
White Russian.
Blue.
Yeah.
It must have the consistency of cottage cheese.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Yes.
And Quint will choose a drink that looks stronger than it actually is, like a drink that looks like it's hard liquor or something, but it's actually not. Just so that it, If he wants to get really drunk together, one of us is getting a lot drunker, a lot faster than the other one. And I'll bring it over, and I'll set the drink down in front of him. Heard you had an unfortunate run-in with pirates recently.
Who's asking?
Myself.
And you are what?
Pirate hunters.
Huh. Pirate hunters. Looks up at the Aslan.
Yes. I mean, it kind of checks. Aslan aren't known for being pirates, so...
No, they're not. No, they don't like pirates much either. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
My name
that's
is
nice for
Quint.
you.
This is Soto. And, we make our living off of getting pirate bounties. So, I heard you had a run-in with a scout ship. Was looking if perhaps I could in time too for some more information, and I'll slide his the next drink of his across because I'm betting he's almost empty from his current drink. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And you kind of got the sense that maybe he's been here a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he just sort of looks at the drink, takes his drink, and he does not look like he is excited to talk to anybody. He seems like...
he's
he
the
just starts,
curmudgeonly sort.
But also suspicious, right? He's,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
suspicious.
Chick walks in with a giant robot arm and an Aslan going, "Hey, we're pirate hunters. We're here to run in." But it seemed like a bold opening. Seemed like a good choice for someone who didn't want to talk rather than being sly.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna need a carouse.
I have the carouse skill.
Buying drinks. This is carouse.
Yeah. Could this be intellect carouse since this is like a calculated opening move?
Sure.
Fuck. Nope, I can't save that. I don't have enough luck left.
What are y'all gonna do about this one? And you can, and Soto, you see it. You see that he's like. By the way, your difficulty is not actually an 8 at this.
Oh, it's
moment.
not actually an 8. Then
It's
what?
a 6.
It's a 6. Oh, I can make a 6 then. Especially if
It
my
is a
captain
6.
gave me some inspiration to go get.
I
some
would
stuff.
say
I know. I was trying to
you
remember
probably
what it
do
was.
not want your captain to give you inspiration.
Oh,
Okay.
I meant like before we walked over. But okay, I have just enough luck to make a 6. So boom, no more luck. If
your captain helps you, it's a 12.
Oh, interesting. Then no, sorry, Captain, don't go back to your work. I had 2 luck left, so I will make the 6 a success.
Having the Aslan with you also helps have it not be a 12.
Oh, great. Hey, good call. Us accidentally.
Oh, the difficulty would be a 12.
Oh yeah, the difficulty would be a 12 if Severance had been there.
Got it.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Severance is not. That's why I asked who was going, because Severance is not going. The difficulty is a 6. If Severance had gone, the difficulty would be a 12. And so he's
and we've got an Aslan who makes it even better. So yeah.
Which also helps. The Aslan and the not Severance is helping right now.
Yeah,
And
so I'll spend my 2 luck
right.
to make it the 6, and then and I'm just gonna sit myself down and have a sip of my own drink.
Soto would sit down with the most rigid spine you've ever seen as he...
And Quint's gonna kind of just lounge a little because that's the dynamic. You have to have like the stiff one and like the chill one. Yeah. Like, wouldn't you rather be talking to the chill one? Like, kind of, yeah.
And he just like leans in. He goes, "Your accent, Solomani."
You got me. Long way from home.
Yeah, that's about right. Long way from home. You Aslan, yeah?
Yes.
It's not vulgar.
You're them people that came in and bombed that planet Drinax all to hell.
Finally.
I'm so sorry.
Was not
It's
my
me laughing,
clan.
not Quint laughing.
Not your clan? That's too bad.
Don't like Drinax much, do you?
The invaders? The conquerors? No.
Makes sense.
I'm from a seam.
Well, then Soto would perk up.
I have been to your planet. Beautiful
Really?
land.
Yeah, I haven't been there in 20 years.
I have.
You know. Yeah, imagine it's all crap now with those hoity-toity nobles running around conquering my home, making the fields not free. Well. And he spits on the ground.
Mm.
Yeah.
The fields will always be free as long as there are white rabbits.
Yeah. Oh.
And I'll just smile. I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but I want to look like I'm in on it.
That's true. You know, there's some people looking for some white rabbits. Was traveling around this area, and over in Blue, they've been looking for some white rabbits. If you know anybody, and you happen to pass through that way, there's some people who need help.
He would Soda would just nod.
And he gives this little smile, and he goes, "It's good to know there's some people who care about freedom out here."
Freedom is very important.
So what you were asking?
The pirates who attacked you.
Yeah.
Hates pirates. Not a big fan.
No. Well.
Love collecting bounties on pirates, though. I was hoping you could give us some more info.
Is there a bounty on him?
Not yet, but if they become a big enough problem, there would be, and I'd love to have, anything helps. Especially if their system's away by then.
And he looks over at Soto. And he just nods, and you can tell he's having thoughts about the free fields in his head, right? And like Soto, and he's like, I was coming towards Torpol, coming in my ship, Sarkomond, old, good ship. As I'm coming in, right around the 100 D mark, this scout ship, Misery's Company was its name. I could tell, looking at it. But it starts coming real close, I don't like that.
No
Too
reason to
close.
fly so close in space.
No. And then, flips over, matches velocity. And then, can you believe it? This fucking ship says that I should hand over all my cargo.
How much cargo can a scout ship even carry?
Yeah, well.
Because Quint knows it's not a whole lot.
Well, do you want to guess what happened?
Well, I'm going to guess that you either said no and then they got real violent, or you said yes and they decided to be assholes anyways.
I said no.
Good call.
See, and he looks around, anybody can make a streetwise at this point in time, if you'd like.
I would love to. Yes.
Oh yeah, I would super duper like to do that. I was going to ask if Streetwise was like insight.
Oh,
So because it's like an insight thing, intellect streetwise?
absolutely.
Cool.
Many skills can be used for insight, just different kinds of insight.
God,
Like shit,
damn,
ones and
Severance.
twos.
Soto?
Why do I keep rolling? Literally, for the last two rolls have been a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2. I'm so mad.
I'll spend all 4 of my luck to get that to
All
an
right.
8.
all right, because you know
You
where we're at.
also rolled a 1 and a 2. Wow,
Yeah,
we're just sucky.
Severance is on a roll, man.
Severance is hot tonight.
That's right.
Severance is like,
I don't fight, but I can roll, baby.
Severance is listening to the comms. He's like, this guy's bullshitting. And we're like, I wonder if he's bullshitting. We're like right there.
Bullshit. I'm muted.
He's not bullshitting. Well, I mean, he's sort of bullshitting. He's not exactly bullshitting. It's just that he says this thing, what I'm going to say right now, and Severance, you know exactly what this means. You know exactly what this means. And so you're like, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. And he goes, well, They asked, but the thing is, my ship, she has a few surprises.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty easy.
It's just a couple.
Is he a pirate himself?
It's got a couple of pop-up turrets, you see. It's
he's
bad
a
for
smuggler.
pirates.
That's what he is. He's a smuggler.
He's a
'Cause
smuggler.
pirates have weapons out, typically. Smugglers. He's a smuggler. Oh, it's always good to have
he's
a few surprises.
Yes, and you're like not quite certain how much, and you're like both.
I suspect, but I have no
You suspect.
verification.
So you're like probably a smuggler, and Severance, you're like, hold on a second, wait a minute.
So they
hold
stole his
on.
smuggled cargo.
You have been a smuggler in your past, and you rolled quite well. The Sarcomond does ring a bell. You recall there was a trading ship, the Sarcomond, that mostly a legit trader, mostly a little bit of smuggling here and there, not regular, but to make ends meet. You have not personally ever really dealt with them yourself, but the people that you worked for, that one time when you were actually doing really quite well as a Corsair, right? You recall that ship being a name that came through, not a full-time, not regular, but could be convinced to do a little bit of smuggling here or there. Has some runs a slightly rougher trade, right? You know what I mean? Like they're a little risky, and you're like, oh, this person's a little has done some slightly illegal things, which is probably why they're a little bit unwilling to talk to people.
Yep.
Right? Well, my turrets pop up and then it's on. They get a couple shots on me, but here's the thing. And he leans in to you, Quint.
Mm-hmm.
I burned that ship here and pokes you right up here, and then right over here, midships, and pokes you twice.
I'd like to make a roll to see if I can stop the poke.
Please do. Yes, that'll be melee.
Meanwhile, it's totally fine with the pokes because I have an axe up my sleeve and I'm not worried about it. Also, if I
He
punch you
presses
with
the
my
wrong
robot
button.
arm,
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt a lot, even just a punch. So.
I'm going to roll this natural.
Sure.
Okay.
If you do natural, that means you're using claws.
Yeah, he's not going to attack with it. He's going to pop it because he can't help himself.
Yeah. Hold on. Are you doing this with Dex?
Oh, and this would be all strength. Shit, I should have had strength on. Hold on, my bad.
Because you can with melee, you can either do strength or Dex. It is your
Dex,
choice.
yep.
Yep. So that I won't change the roll, but it would be another one on there.
Thank you.
So it would
that
be
would be
nice.
I thought so, because you're very strong. I was like, that should be, yep. So he goes into poke, to be just a little, vaguely threatening, but also he seems to be kind of a very physical, handsy kind of a guy, right? So his finger starts, you can see it coming out to poke right about here. Tell me what happens.
Talking in the Italian.
And Soto lifts his hand to intercept the poke. He pops his dew claw out, but basically so the guy's finger stops right by the dew claw, and then he just takes one of his 3 large fingers and goes.
And you can see, here's the thing. He's heard about Aslan. He might have even spoken to Aslan. He knows that you do not do things discourteous because they sometimes get enraged, right? So it just kind of backs up. Well, but yeah, I hit her twice. This Misery's Company, or whatever the name is, on the midship side. And you can see, he's now become a little bit less aggressive right at that moment. Just at that moment, there's just a little bit less aggression. Big Aslan, right? And there's now he's getting a little bit nervous because he's I don't know, because the thing is that Aslan have got very weird for humans who don't know them very well, and kind of Byzantine and unclear rules about what is an insult and what isn't. And when you do insult them, they sometimes just try to kill you, or it's very unclear. They might have a duel. He's a little thrown off because he's not quite certain like if he's done something wrong or not, and he's trying to figure out how to salvage this in some kind of a way.
Yeah. Quint, to like help break the tension, will just slide their glass over and clink his, just like it's all good, and he just
finishes his drink and grabs the one that you
just
got
so
for
you
him.
know, chat. Just so you know, I have a table.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a reaction table. And he goes, the ship, when
the
I
midships
shot
who
it,
struck twice. It sounds very exciting.
They were scared though. They were scared.
As
over
they
the
should
radio.
be.
I heard him calling to jump. They ran like yellow-bellied nobles, and the captain was and you can tell he's now beginning to spill because he wants to get this happen fast because he's afraid. A little afraid of the Aslan, right?
Absolutely.
The captain was a Vargar, I think. I heard him. I heard that we were trying to.
And did he address himself with a name or anything?
No. I just heard him call to jump. They called they were going to jump to Borite, but I got him pretty good. I hit the ship pretty good. Might have hit their. I don't know, something sparked. But I heard him jump to Borite, and then off they went. So that's what I got.
Borite's a 3 jump from here.
Borite's a 2.
From Clark? Oh, yeah, sorry. I was looking from Clark. Yeah, from here it's Borite. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
they
I'm
went from
making note.
Clark. They went from Clark to Torpol, and then they went to Borite.
That's interesting. Okay.
So, if there's a bounty or something,
with a
love to hear
Class
about it if it
E
helps.
spaceport. Bullshit.
It's almost like, or
Bullshit.
they're expecting fuel to get dropped off from a
I
big
call
old fuel
bullshit.
canister.
But I'll tell you what, you made your streetwise. He is not lying about that. That is where they said they were going. But that is pretty weird, which means if they went that way rather than this other way, what is that all about, right?
That is interesting.
That's what I know. But
Appreciate it.
I don't want any
Yeah. No
trouble.
bounty that I know of yet, but just like having a leg up on the competition when they do issue one. If this keeps making attacks against people, that'll be a bounty eventually.
Yeah, you'll remember that I helped you out, right?
Of course I will.
And he's sort of like looking over at Soto just when he says...
Soto leans, for the first time, Soto bends his back and leans forward when he goes, "Oh, you remember what I did?" Soto leans forward and he goes,
I'll never forget you.
and then he stands up and walks back to Severance.
And you can see him, he's just like...
He's happy I
that
got that
drink.
other drink for him now.
Oh.
Thank you for taking up so much of your time, but thank you so much for your cooperation.
Sure.
You really should go
Yeah.
back to Seam sometime. I hear it's really nice.
Hey, not until those Drinaxian invaders are gone. Till we're free.
Is it worth never visiting home again?
Not
potentially?
until the fields are free. Then I'll go back.
All right. Keep your ears out then. And I'll give him a wink and walk away.
Yeah.
This guy's living the plot of Urinetown.
Exactly.
And I won't go over
As-
to Severance immediately because I don't want him to necessarily connect us. I'll
Yeah.
go to the bar.
Yeah, that's
And,
where
yeah.
Soto would have done that too. And then whenever Quint comes up, he would say,
I apologize. I know that you can take care of yourself. It was impolite.
No, that's fine. I think it worked rather effectively on him. Nice working with you.
Nice
Quint, you approve?
working with you.
You approve of Soto Masi?
And does he leave after that drink he takes? Because I imagine
Yeah,
he's not
he-
sticking
he-
around. Yeah.
No, he's not sticking around. It was a little like again, you never know with Aslan. They get so upset about weird things, and then
do.
sometimes they just stab you. So like,
Yeah,
especially
if you don't know
Aslan
anything,
men, Aslan
You have
men,
no fucking idea what I can get insulted by.
and it's like,
I love it.
and so he just
and then
like,
we'll wait for him to leave, and then
and
like
he
a
also
couple
doesn't wanna
minutes
hang out with
past
pirate
that.
hunters. Yeah,
Yeah, because he's a smuggler.
yeah,
But I didn't say I hated smugglers, it's just pirates, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's that. And then once he leaves, give it a couple beats and then get a drink, and I'll get a fojito for Severance and bring it over.
Thank you very much. It's very kind.
Here you go, Admiral. I'm assuming you caught all that?
I got
Not,
a
I
good
have it
chunk of it.
recorded.
Yes, I've also.
I'll give you the recording later.
Good. Thank you. I was. Did I get the contact info for Holmer?
yes, you did.
Okay. Good. Well, I've already sort of. I got most of it, but also I think I'm just sending this out now to him, and I'm gonna send him like a message manifest.
Yeah.
And what it will read, and like, so I don't know, like, because timing wise, so we don't like have to have the scene today, but like an invitation or whatever, and it's going to be this. It's going to say, like, I guess he would read it, right? Or I'm imagining Holmer's beep, 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 gets or whatever. What does Holmer look like now? I'm changing the scene to you, Trooper. What does Holmer look like?
So you wouldn't know because you're getting comms. This is.
I'm not. I'm sending him a message, like a text, right? But I'm just like,
by the
if
way,
the camera
this is
found
what you
him
do
somewhere,
when you're doing,
right?
if you're doing trading, right? Like when you and also you may want to do trading while you're here.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And this guy Holmer he's got a comb over, bald in.
Okay.
And he has got that kind of look of somebody who's been in space a lot, right? So a little sallow, right? A little gray.
Yeah, what does that look like?
A little sallow, a little gray. He's got a little bit of a pot belly. He is younger than he looks, but he looks like he probably's had a kind of a hard. Being an independent trader is not always easy, especially if you're not doing a lot of illegal things. It's hard times. It's hard to make money, you know? And this is a guy that looks like he's had a bit of a hard time sometimes.
All right. So we would probably see Holmer, or this man, have a notification and a message. I send it, and then this sort of scene happens, and it reads, or it would read probably in his mind,
Holmer, clock is ticking, and you're holding the bag. That scrap you bought off the Misery's company, you didn't buy it. You're moving it. The stone jackal is in position. You know where, and you know how long her windows stay open. That cargo's not salvage. It's a signature. You are paid to forget where it came from and make sure it ends up somewhere no one's asking questions. This is the ask. Reroute the load under secondary manifest protocol ghost tag narrow kiss. Attach it to the jackal's hold quietly and burn the logs. You've done this before. Don't get precious now. If anyone asks, say the crate burst open and it was worthless. Say it was dumped. Say you scrapped it for parts you've never listed. Just say anything. Say something if you're nervous, but don't stall. You want the cut you were promised? This is how you earn it. Signed, The Dark Crown.
I need a roll. This will be, you have a choice. You have a choice because there are two ways to do this. Of course, well, there's more than one way.
and the Dark Crown, this is in my head canon, is like, and I don't know if this is real or if this, anyway, but this is like the call sign for the thief, the trade kings of thieves. Or it may not be, but in Severance's mind, and what Severance may have known, or at least that's what he's trying to imply here.
Yeah. I will note that there are multiple kings, so it might be one of them. I'm going to need a roll from you. Persuade would be it, or Streetwise.
Boon for awesome.
Boon for your past, though, actually. For your... Because you have a past of this, and that's where we're going to end it after this roll.
Hell yeah. That's sort of what I was thinking. I was like, we could do this whole scene where I could just sing
Streetwise
this
with the
out.
boon he's gonna destroy.
Boon, Streetwise.
This will be a difficult roll.
Or what was the other one?
Persuade.
Persuade.
For intimidation.
Let's take a look at my
Persuade
persuade.
is where you get your intimidation in.
Persuade,
bribery.
social. Or I will do Streetwise. They're both the same. I'm gonna do Persuade. I already did Streetwise.
Okay.
Well, they're both two. They're gonna be two different outcomes.
They're different. They're different vibes. Persuade will.
I think I want Persuade because I care more about him getting it done versus about where he thinks or how. How authentic my comms seem to be. I want him just to do it. Okay, so I will roll Persuade. I'm also going to dump my lunk. I'm going to dump my lunk. I'm going to dump my luck into it, which is probably only 3, but it's still going to be helpful. Isn't where do we keep our luck? Because I never ever remember.
It's in the lower. It's in the primary. It's in the primary tab because it's an attribute, and it's lower than the main ones.
Luck 3. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to be dumping 3 luck into this because I didn't do anything at all today. And, didn't do anything at all. I didn't use luck at all today. I have a boon, Persuade social.
Because of your past as a pirate. I mean...
And I'm just going to add my modifier of 3 because that's where I'm dumping it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yep.
10! Still got it, though.
So, there is this man who, when I said he was sallow and clearly had a hard life, that means he probably has done some sketchy things. And he gets this message, and you can see him begin to sweat. Like, he got a message he did not want to get from somebody who seems very, very dangerous. And he turns to his crew, like, we better get that crate to the stone jackal. Fast! And as that sides off, you see Evan walk into the bar, and he goes, Kareen's been arrested. That's where we're going to end it.
He shows up panting because he's been running.
You heard we finally got here, and he's like, "Oh God, I can tell them."
Kareen's been arrested. Thanks, we know.
Great, I've already negotiated her release.
I love that.
This is where we end it. We've got some hard outs.
gosh.
I will give you the things to note. When we come back next week, any kind of trade rolls you want to do, making contact rolls because you've got a week to do that stuff. We'll bust that out, and then deal with Evan, and then I imagine you're off. I will note, by the way, they went from Clark to Torpol to Borite, and Borite is a classy starport.
Yeah.
And is kind of nowhere near anything. That is...
Okay.
But your smuggler was not lying. He did hear it. But that says... That's weird for pirates to do that. So what they're doing, what does that say? It says something. You know, that's all I'm going to say. But let's do our outros. I want to say thank you all for being here. I'm so glad for our new 2 characters.
They're so cool.
Yes.
They're so
Yes. So, Greg first. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And then give some love. And I'm so excited for people to learn more about the Aslan and also the complicated nature of these things. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Hi, everybody. My name is Greg. I'm Warp Reactor over on YouTube. If you ever want to watch some science fiction reaction videos, jump on over and we can watch them together. Had a great time tonight. Introducing a new character is always sort of scary, you know? It's like the opening night of a show. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. The character is fun. Again, Cord hit it right on the head that there's some carryover with some of Val's storylines, so cool. we can seamlessly get into them. And I have been enamored with the Aslan ever since we started doing this.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to jump in. I will let you all know this. I'm going to make plenty of mistakes. And if I do, I will correct myself and correct chat so we can all learn a little bit about the Aslan. They are absolutely fantastic. There's
They are.
so much cool shit. And the idea that they rage against being called cats and like all of their characteristics are fucking cats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
Oh,
You'll
shit,
see,
I
you'll
just
see.
remembered Severance is allergic to Aslan. Damn it. All right, I got to remember.
Well, I mean, we'll get you
We
a
haven't
shot
been
or
in
something.
closed quarters on a ship with them yet,
I
though.
just
So
remembered
that's
that.
true.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We've been out and about.
My love for this is absolutely. I'm going to Cord, that speech that you gave to that guy to shake him down was fantastic. It was like something that you would see Paul Newman deliver in some 70s movie, you know, like we've got you, I know everything that you're doing, you know. It's so good, so
Time to move it. Yep.
Severance has always reminded me of like Paul Newman in The Sting.
Yeah,
Just knows
yeah.
where to go, knows everything to do, knows all the angles. Great shit. And I will say this, for the first time playing Traveler with Lindy, my character likes her. And that is the greatest thing. That is the greatest thing, because I'll tell you this, everybody, and this is an RP spoiler alert that I already said. As soon as Quint pops that claw, or that axe, which is very much like a dew claw, that's going to be an interesting day for fucking my guy. I can't wait to see it. And again, of course, the chat, you all are absolutely amazing. Thank you all so very much. I have to jump, but my last love goes to my incredible friend Trooper, who last night, when I had no internet and was only able to texted character creation with me for several hours, and it was one of my favorite things ever, and I will never forget it, and it's my favorite character I've ever built because of that, and doing it with a game master who is not only a best buddy, but someone that just fucking loves to RP, and my friend, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, I
I'm
just
out,
want you to
everybody.
know, I've got clan politics for you just coming up. Because
Dude,
again,
I'm going to get sucker punched with all kinds of crazy shit I don't know about, and I love it. I am here for it. I am here to be told how I am not Aslaning, and I am going to make sure that by the time I'm done, I am Aslaning my ass off. So I can't wait to do this. I'll see you all. I love you all. See you next week.
See you, buddy.
Love you, Greg.
and Cord, do you have like 4 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you do me a favor?
Uh-huh.
In the Roll20, if you notice under the gamblers where the character sheets are, there's a new one called Gambler Trade.
Oh, yeah.
Will you open it up?
Wait, I don't see it. Under the Gambler Trade. Boom.
This is a present as part of the brand new, the new character sheet, which we'll upload. We'll update the new one too. And oh yes. So with this, we can put in the planetary code for where we're at, and then we can get like passengers, freight, speculative, and then like keep like it's all right there for you. I just want you to know that. Yeah.
Where do I
knew
get the
that you
code
would have-
from?
It's you can just get it from the traveler map, which I have
That's
so
sweet.
many. What's the word? I have so many PDFs
Macros and
open
things?
that I
PDFs?
No,
Yeah.
PDFs that I cannot. Where's my map?
Here, let me
Map.
see.
Where are you?
Traveler map. Done this the
Traveler
other
map.
day. Traveler
Torpol.
map.
Here we
There
are.
it is.
It's B55A77A8. Copy. let me-
B5. I'm just gonna look
It's
up Torpol.
B55A77A
There it is.
-8, and then put in WA for Waterworld.
Wow, this is sick. Okay, and then 8, and then
WA.
W.
But put a space. And then you can
All right, and then let's
apply.
say if I wanted to just go somewhere else. Let's just say I wanted to go to, I don't know, Thieve. And that's going to be this. And I would put that there, and then I would apply, and then what happens? No. Like, I don't know what kind of world Thieve is.
Oh, it's a pirate world, right? And so you can do this, and then you can go and look for freight if you wanted to. You can go and look for, you can grab freight. You've got all these sort of like, you can calculate freight, boop, right?
Cool.
And you can find out what's there, and you can like then take the stuff. So I'm just letting you know, it's all there in the most cool way. And this is part of the new character sheet that's being built in Roll20.
Big.
And in case you're interested, I know I'm talking to the person who's banking it, and I am maybe able to get in the beta test. But they're working on a what's the word? A compendium.
Okay.
It takes work to build one, but they're working on a compendium. And if they get it done, what that means is that we'll be able to drag and drop equipment, armor, weapons onto our character sheets and just have it show up there. So I'm just letting you know of all the cool stuff that's happening.
That is really cool.
And I knew you'd like it. That's all.
So, really
Cord,
cool.
who are you? And where can we find you? And then give some love.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cord, or Mythematic. You can find me here on Fridays. You could also find me Tuesdays on Table Story. We're doing a game called Side Quest right now, where I play a gnome sorcerer who doesn't know that he's magic. So it's kind of fun to play a character that has to do spells. It's fun playing, like being a player that needs to use spells, but then trying to integrate it through the narrative that he didn't know that he's casting the spell. So that's always sort of fun. Yeah, come check it out. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, tonight was awesome. I really like Torpol. I really enjoy Traveler for this, like for the traveling. But like going from one planet to another, and then like it's not like in D&D where you go to a new town, because a new town usually generally has like the same broad culture. And if you go like towards like the South Pole or whatever, and then or somewhere completely different, then you get a different culture completely compared to usually whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when you go in Traveler, every planet's a new culture, new politics, it's constant exploration and discovery, which is very exciting, especially in a, like even just running trade, like especially from like a social or, like a social standpoint, you get to learn the new stuff. Anyway, so like Drinax is great and fun. I'm glad we went on it. I was very excited to leave Drinax so we can get on with, not necessarily the story, but get on with traveling, getting onto different parts, learning more planets. And I thought like today was really great because it was very engaging for the fact that it's something new. I really enjoy, my brain loves exploration and discovering new things, new story. And showing up here and then being like, oh, great, you're here. Please sit down and let's discuss. It was awesome because I was like, okay, great. And like I've been watching White Lotus. So like it's been great for me to just imagine that sort of world and like, okay, the planet's a White Lotus planet. Great. And but like we're taken into the back to be like, listen, some shit's going down. Help us. And it's just great because we're pirates. We're being privateers, you know. We're hired to come in and to get rid of the pirates. And like this is the one time right now that we're like legit being privateers. And we're legit, like Torpol's like, oh, Drinax is here to help us, which is kind of cool because we haven't had that yet either. So like, oh, you're the people from Drinax. Thank you so much. So it's kind of cool. We get to confidently do what we do without having to be super sneaky about it. Yeah, it was
by the way, success at this, if you can do this, if you can help out Torpol and Clark, if you can get those pirates, that will improve Torpol and Clark's, besides giving you money, it will improve their attitude towards you, which means positive things all around, right?
There's a lot riding on this. It's not just like the gamblers and like, oh, these people just want to show up and help us, these group of heroes. This mission knows that the gamblers is tied to the Drinaxian Empire. So like more than ever, we're like, it's also great too because we just came out of being knighted. We just came out of all these ceremonies. So we're riding this high of like we're this Drinaxian importance high, which is really great. Yeah, and I think that's probably also why Severence was just so like, I'm not gonna buy this scrap from this guy. I am going to like snoop down to his level with my letter of marque. I will be the snake that orders him to put it in he's going to hand deliver it into our vessel.
I'm just going to say that he wouldn't do that if he were not doing shady stuff. If he were
Exactly.
a legit person, he would never do that. He'd be like, that's weird, but I'm a legitimate businessman. Why would I do that?
And it seemed like there was a lot of moving parts in this heist, because that's sort of what this is. So for something, so I was thinking like there has to be something that Baron Severance could do that could, and usually the people who are moving stuff aren't ever going to know what the next step is.
Yeah, that's right.
They just know that they need to go drop it off at X. So being able to be like, hey, you don't need to leave Torpol. Why don't you just move it into the stone jackal? They'll take care of it. Which I think is super exciting. I'm excited that worked. I was very excited. That's why I was like, I've got an idea. I've got an idea for a scene.
Yeah.
What was
now
that?
you can see what that scrap is.
Yeah,
We'll find out what the
it
scrap
could
is.
just be scrap, right? It could just be
Might
scrap,
be.
or it may be coded, or it may have something else. But like, it's. I think it'll be really cool when like, because I sent this out, and then I'm just enjoying the scene for like later when everybody boards back onto the Gambler and the cargo bay is full of scrap, and like, what is this? Oh, this is the scrap. This was the payload. So. I'm very excited for that, and like I really like these new chapters of going to a different planet and stuff, and I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
So.
And like sometimes you spend an entire time on a planet, an entire season on a planet, but then sometimes you like burst through a couple, right? Because with this one, if you want to chase that ship, you probably want to like get your stuff together, get your stuff going, and then go. Yeah. But the question is, why would that ship go to Borite from Torpol?
Yeah, right. It's like, do we want to have the race, or do we want to see where the rest of this is going, right? Is that like, also, is that the, like, my brain is thinking like, is that the distraction? Everybody go chase that ship. How dare they? But really, we want to know where what was, like, I don't know.
Although, to be fair,
right, exactly.
It was extremely difficult to find that connection from that ship to that ship. So they probably anticipated us not knowing they were connected.
True.
So
yeah.
You all had to do some heroic teamwork and spending quite a lot of time to get that one. I was giving you some very hard rolls actually to do that one.
They hadn't found it before us.
Because they were covering their tracks very well, right?
We just showed up and we're like, well, doy, here it is. Where have you been this whole time? Sorry, being knighted.
But that's why they're going to give you 2 million credits. Clark doesn't have as much money. But, you know.
Yeah. That'll be great.
Shame you don't have a stealth engine. Yeah, we do have a stealth engine. But yeah, anyway, so stealth ship. Yeah, but it was great. I'm excited about this. I like just sitting down and then just having to rack our brains about the situation, like sitting down in the situation room and then trying to be like, okay, it's a mystery, and I just loved that. I thought it was super cool. But yeah, my love tonight, Greg's on here. A lot of things about Greg and Greg's new character. But yeah, I'll touch it again.
Great.
Yeah, Soto and Reese. I really do like two things, I guess, is how Greg brings a companion with the character, which I really liked. I thought that was super cool. Yeah, and it was like same thing happened with Val and Sue. Yeah. So it's really kind of cool to have that. It's sort of like Traveler Greg signature, but also we get to see a little bit more into this, like, because like a couple of episodes of season 1, we were like, oh yeah, Val does know Aslan culture. Interesting. And then it was never really brought up again. Val's our translator. Cool. But like we never really sort of saw why.
Yeah. And also has that Aslan friend who's currently in prison.
Yeah, right. So there's just like a really cool story that we didn't get to really learn a lot about because where Val is right now. Yeah. And just he's not. I shouldn't say where Val is, but he's not in front of the camera. Val is not in front of the camera, and the light is not on Val right now. Yep. But we still get to see threads of that story being told through this new character, and it's so cool. So that's where my love goes tonight for Greg and Lindy. Being able to play with you and to see like the jack of all trades that your character has as a skill is always great and wonderful, but also seeing you as a character or you as a player being able to have that jack of all trades to stop and do like pick up where things are needed in the narrative, which is really awesome. And like it's just support role down to a T. So you being here and like running the ghost crew with me and like Severance needing to have that person to, I don't know what I'm doing, like him frantically, him like freaking out, but you helping, love. And also my love goes to you sneaking back and like, not sneaking back, but staying back to sneak getting Korean out. But also it's not, I've noticed too that there are a lot of like tactical, not manipulative, but like tactical ways that Quint is acting like a spy, that Severance also does. And it's kind of like Severance is starting to see and notice these things. And there isn't, and maybe I don't know. I know that I probably do. Quint probably would have turned off the bug before she went and spoke to that guy.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no, because that was before. That was a different scene. But anyway, just love it. I love the fact, because like Severance was not doesn't care. Korean, like if you like,
he doesn't care enough to get her out, but he also doesn't care if she just shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's
That's
like,
exactly why I'm doing it.
That's a lot of work for someone who just made a dumb mistake and is now in prison. Shouldn't have done that. We'll just hire someone else with the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just love that. So thank you for that, and like just the one for bringing the characters all together and the crew back together. But anyway, that's me. Follow me on the things or don't. I'm mythematic. And I'll be back to streaming at some point. I don't know. I've been so busy, but I will, I guess. But I'll be here next week, if nothing else. I love you all. That's me.
Which leads us, by the way, Severance had whole term as a criminal, which means some of that stuff is going to be coming in too. I love when these things come together. And also Quint. By the way, the guy hates Drinaxi nobles, so it was good Severance did not show up and walk in.
That is good.
I was just noting it. Laugh, Love, Lindy, who are you? Where can
Hi.
we find you? And then give some love.
Oh my gosh. Hi, it's me, Laugh Love Lindy. My love, I loved, it's kind of weird having like a little skeleton crew at the beginning, just like in the ship. And I know we breezed over it, but it had to have been like a weirdly quiet week.
Yeah, it would have been.
And I have been saying for probably like a year now, it's over 6 months, to Trooper, I'm like, I think Severance and Quint would really get along well if they were forced to actually hang out at some point in time. Because usually he's off doing other things.
Yeah. I feel like that
they're
week
very
got us pretty
similar.
close. Yeah.
They're very similar in a lot of ways, and I love it. So my love goes to having that week of a skeleton crew, but also just us being badasses in that room doing things. You being like using a streetwise, and then Soto being like just like the overwatch person.
That was badass. That was a badass scene.
Yeah.
Just like,
And Reese, I love Reese already. I don't know what to say. I'm like, I love her, and I want to be her best friend. I mean, Quint is like, oh, this is great. Yeah. And it's great because Quint has had a gal Aslan pal before, so maybe we can bond. A Galslan pal. Because Quint doesn't have a lot of friends, and so was like, I'm not leaving one of my very few friends in prison since I basically hardly have any on the ship anymore. And then B, oh yay, as a woman, this is familiar. Let's be friends. And I'm so excited. Yeah. So thank you, Greg, for bringing that in. My love for Greg goes to his wig. I loved his wig for tonight.
The wig.
So good.
Yeah.
My love is for Greg's wig.
The wig and everything was just super cool. Not at all what I expected, because we saw Greg with like a winter, like that jacket, and then like a beanie. In the beginning. So I was like, oh, okay, we're probably gonna see like a military pilot or something. And then when he turned out, I was like, oh. It was awesome. It was so well done.
Oh, so good. I loved it. And for Greg making a character that doesn't hate me off the bat, because there's been 2 campaigns where Greg and I have hated each other, and it was really hard to hate Greg, or Greg's character, because Greg was playing it. It was in the Call of Cthulhu podcast, and then with Val, and it was so funny because it was mostly one-sided, because Quint didn't care. Quint was like, whatever. A lot of people don't like me. It's fine. But Val hated Quint, and I loved it. So it's very fun to get to play positively with Greg again in the one campaign we have going right now.
There's been something that Quint has wanted, and Soda will be helpful with this.
Revenge?
No. Do you know what the Aslan are really good at?
Gem cutting.
A lot of things.
Engineering armor so that if you have like an internal...
All right,
Yes,
because of
give
claws
me
and
a
stuff.
sleeve that lets me do it while vacuum space sleeve. Yes,
that's
hell yeah. We're gonna be best
sweet.
friends. We're gonna be besties for resties. I'm so excited.
Just you know
That
me.
makes total sense. That's so cool.
It does.
And my love for Trooper goes to I really liked our administrator dude.
Yeah, Jeff
Falks.
Goldblum. Yeah, hell yeah.
The
Falks,
Provost Marshal Falks, I loved him because he was just so happy we were there. And like
yeah.
so happy to help out. Even when
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, can you bust this person out of prison for me? He's like, yes. It was great. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Look,
I might try to make
he
a
has an
contact out of him
agenda.
because he is correct. If we help him
Yes.
solve this pirate case, he will be
Yes.
moving up and then we'll be friends with a
Yes.
higher up person. So I
Yes.
think I might try to befriend
Yes.
this guy.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Everybody
So I
gets
loved
your
him. That
role.
was my love. That was my
Yeah.
love.
And I
And
will
then you can
say-
find me. Laugh Love Lindy. Online. Twitch, YouTubes, and Blue Skies, wherever's. Insta, I'm everywhere. Not active, but I am there. And let's see. This is our off week for Aliens
Yep.
and Ghosts of Saltmarsh. We had it last week and it was epic. So next week we'll have that. You can find me on Sunday at Praxgorth as my Foria's channel for some Greyhawk shenanigans. And then on Wednesday for Tracks of Terror. This past week, 2 people got eaten but not killed by pterodactyls. So we've got 4 of them left running around, and let's see how tragically, if they die, how they die. That'll be a lot of fun in prehistoric times. And then here next week for more Gambler, where we're having a lot of fun here on Torpol so far. Very productive day on Torpol so far, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, we're killing it. We're killing
And
it.
I suspect you will be leaving Torpol next session, heading off to your next
I could
place.
see that. I could see that, depending how things go.
Yeah, just, a little bit of, I mean, everybody's going to get your role, right? Everybody gets their, what do you want to do this week? Because you're here for a week, basically, right?
It's true.
You can always leave early if you wanted to, but if you want to do trade, that's like trade and making contacts, all that stuff
Yep.
kind of takes a week, which that means everybody everyone can do something. We can get some trade, we can get some contact making, and the more contacts you have, the more assets you have
Yes.
on each place, the better.
Yep.
So, what I wanted to say was, I'm troopersjp, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been here. And before I say anything for myself, I'm going to read off if we have any tips or bits that have come in, and no tips or bits, so I don't have any messages to read. But next week, I'm hoping we'll be able to have the pre-orders for our planner up, and maybe even also for our cards. We'll see about that one. I don't know about that one yet, but we'll see. But at least we should get the planner up by next week. So I'm excited about that. And I want to say thank you, everybody who's been here. And I just want to say, it's me. You can find me tomorrow playing Hitman, because that's going to happen. I'm so excited for it. And then next week will be Disco Elysium on Thursday, and then more The Gamblers. We have 2 more episodes left of The Gamblers. Also, did we have title suggestions from chat for our title for today's episode? If you put them in there, put title suggestions in. So here's the thing. Oh, and by the way, I'm so glad that Rufus is feeling better, by the way. So this is what I will tell you. I'm very excited for the traveling. I'm excited for some trading. I'm excited for whatever they're going to find out. I don't know if they're going to go to Borite next week, or if they're going to skip Borite, but that is where the pirates they're chasing, as far as I know, where they've headed. Oh, the Lion Roars Tonight. Hawkeye, that's best. Love it. Love it. So, right? That's at least where that's where they've heard stuff has been going from, and who knows what they'll find. But there are things happening. And I know they also do want to eventually get to Thebes as well. And there are a lot of places to go and a lot of things to do, a lot of mysteries out there. And that's what I love best about Traveler, is that the players decide where they want to go and I juggle. And we're going to note that healing. We're going to know what everyone's been up to. And I want to say love to, I think I said all that, love to Lindy for... I just loved like Lindy and Reese together just doing their thing. That was so nice. But I especially loved Lindy being like, no, we're going to go and get Corinne back. That's just what we're going to do.
We gotta get Kareen, my knife buddy.
But also that I really loved that I really loved that Quint was like, oh, she got into a problem with somebody from Ogma. Right. Okay. That was probably justified, probably. Most likely is what I'm thinking. And so I love that. And I want to say I want to give love to Cord. I loved Cord's. So here's the thing. I'm going to say something about Cord. Cord says this stuff, which is just not true all the time. Cord's like, I don't know what's happening. Who knows? I have no idea what's going on. I was like, oh, no. Cord is really good. Cord's like, wait a minute. He's probably actually doing sketchy illegal stuff, which means we could probably just, and he's right. Like so many times this season, Cord has been like, hold on a second. They did that sword switcheroo so that it wouldn't even really count as a, oh, hold on. And like he's caught all these like little things because all these things have been out there. They're just out there. And he's been picking up on them and like using them for such good advantage. So even when he says he doesn't know, I was so happy about him being able to use his ancestral memory, like the difference between Marymore's memories and his own. Like, I love that. So that's really exciting. I'm excited to see more of that because it's so good. And then I want to give love to Greg for the main. I want to give love to Greg because we were up pretty late last night making his character via text. Oh, so good. And also, I'm pretty excited that he brought in an Aslan, because this world, this sandbox, right? This sandbox has all of this stuff happening in it. And if you bring in an Aslan as a PC, that's going to add in more things. In the same way that when Lindy brought in a Solomani, I was like, that's great, because that allows me to bring in some of those politics. So all of the sort of, basically it gives you access to new politics. And I just appreciate that so much. And I love the concept. I love he's got some stuff going on in his background, and I'm excited for that to show up. Also, he's not here, so I can say this. I get to tie in his character to ongoing plot threads that's happening in the Reaches that he may not know all about, but he'll find out about it. Also, we just got a $50 tip coming in right now from Void Smoker, who says some funds for Kareen's bail. She will need it. Here's what I want to know for next week. Will they convince Evan to come back onto the ship? That's the question that I want to know. I don't know if they will or not. I don't think Severence will try, but Quint might. Although, I mean, I guess we'll find out. I don't know. We'll find out. Does the addition of Soto and Reese mean we'll see more of that Aslan woman who seems like a political prisoner? If they go and rescue her, then yes, because she's definitely there in prison as a political prisoner and as bait for Val, and also the head of the Free Fields. And Soto might even know that person. You know what I'm saying? Might even know that person at one point. So, thank you, Void Smoker. And Void Smoker, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to have to contact you to get new art. I've got to get art descriptions from everybody for the new cast, which I won't do it until after the season's over, until I find out who's on the cast. But, you know, who's in the ship and all that. But I will be asking, because we'll need a new group, a new bunch of art. Yeah. Rissa says, Quint should tell Evan the Harlock is missing and they need him to find her. Well, that would help. that would be a good move, because, you know, he is very invested in the Harlock as well. So, my friends, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and take care of yourselves, and we will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everybody.